Chapter 1108. Long Yu's mind-body didn't have any form. Just like the soul, Long Yu's whereabouts could only be found through probing methods. Therefore, the people outside the arena couldn't see anything. They couldn't see Long Yu's figure, much less the soul's actions. Their vision immediately turned black. Everyone began guessing. They had never seen such a situation before. The fact that the soul and the human in the arena couldn't see each other at the same time made everyone click their tongues in wonder. Perhaps that kid is using invisibility. However, what's the use of invisibility against the soul? Many people sneered inwardly, mainly the Golden Flood Dragon Fae. They didn't think highly of Long Yu. Some people were even betting on how long Yu could last. Compared to seeing Long Yu just now, the outcome of the challenge was even more confusing. However, everyone still believed that Long Yu wasn't a match for the soul. In the arena, when Long Yu used the Book of Shadows and transformed into a mind-body, the soul was clearly taken aback. However, it immediately launched an attack at Long Yu. The cultivators outside the arena couldn't sense Long Yu's location due to the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. However, the soul in the arena could clearly sense Long Yu's location. Seeing that Long Yu had transformed into a spiritual body, the spirit race cultivator seemed to be somewhat disdainful. After all, spirit race cultivators were the best in terms of spiritual power. To him, Long Yu transforming into a spiritual body to fight him was simply courting death. The soul didn't know what method Long Yu had used to transform into a mind-body. After all, there were too many types of divine powers in this world. It wasn't that this soul had never seen similar moves in the past. Therefore, he didn't pay much attention to it and directly attacked Long Yu. Mind attack rain. Countless psyche force condensed into raindrops and swept towards the place where Long Yu's psyche body was. A downpour that was invisible to the naked eye pounced on Long Yu's psyche body, completely sealing off the place where it was. This torrential rain was composed entirely of spiritual energy. Once one was struck by it, one's spiritual body would be riddled with holes. This was a move that the soul race would only use when fighting amongst themselves. This was because the spiritual rain couldn't penetrate the physical body, so it couldn't directly affect the souls of human martial cultivators and Yao cultivators. But now that Long Yu had taken the initiative to transform into a spiritual body, it gave the soul the best opportunity. The rain of mental attacks came from all directions. Long Yu's soul avatar had nowhere to run and was instantly enveloped by the rain of mental attacks. The soul avatar he had transformed using the Book of Shadows didn't even have a chance to do anything before it was riddled with holes under the assault of the soul race's attacks. It was on the verge of being annihilated. Long Yu's soul avatar didn't move at all. It was as though it had been caught off guard by the rain of mental attacks. It instantly faced the danger of destruction and had nowhere to run. All right, now's the time. Just as the soul heaved a sigh of relief, Long Yu knew that he had finally grasped the best opportunity. The soul race didn't know that Long Yu's psyche body was only a simulation. It was completely the power of the Book of Shadows. It didn't contain any of Long Yu's soul imprints. Therefore, even though the psyche body was riddled with holes by the rain of mental attacks, it didn't cause any harm to Long Yu. The Book of Shadows had successfully confused the soul race, causing it to relax a little. At this moment, the killing move that Long Yu had been preparing for a long time finally arrived. Ninth Nether, True Soul. Origin Shock. Long Yu's body jumped out from the simulated spirit body that was riddled with holes. Then, he instantly let out a furious roar of the 9 underworld's dragon. It was as if a terrifying aura had come from the netherworld. In that instant, the soul race was intimidated on the spot. The 9 nether true spirits' origin intimidation was extremely effective even against the soul race. At the very least, for 2 breaths of time, the soul race would not be able to resist. As for how to kill this soul race, Long Yu didn't intend to hide it anymore. He knew very well that with his current strength, there was only one way to completely kill this soul race. That was to use the original power of the Juyo Dragon Emperor. I'm now the Lord of the 9 Nether, and have control over 80% of the 9 nether imprints. I can completely use the 7 innate mystic powers of the Geoyo Dragon Emperor. Long Yu had already expected this to happen. When the final moment comes, and he finds a chance to shock the soul race, he'll have to use his killing move. This is the only chance for him to defeat the soul race with minimal losses. If he uses 6 of the 7 innate mystic powers of the Geoyo Dragon Emperor, he'll be able to cause quite a bit of damage to the 9 nether realm. But only by using the Dead Star Spiral Current that has already been destroyed will it not affect the 9 nether realm. Because the Dead Star Spiral Current has already been destroyed. Half of it has spread throughout the entire 9 nether realm and is about to reach Shunwu World. The remaining half is very far away from Shunwu World, so using it won't affect the 9 nether realm too much. And the Dead Star Spiral Current is a powerful technique that targets the soul. Death Star Whirlpool, go to hell. Long Yu gritted his teeth as 9 nether godly script appeared all over his body. The originally eerie black 9 nether godly script instantly turned into an even darker shade of 9 nether godly script. At this very moment, it turned into Enlightenment Level 9 nether godly script. Long Yu himself hasn't comprehended any Enlightenment Level 9 nether godly script, but now that he's using the 9 nether mark to activate the Dead Star Spiral Current, he can naturally use Enlightenment Level 9 nether godly script. In the next moment, the 9 nether godly script in his hand turned into a whirlpool. This whirlpool gave off a strong attraction and destructive power towards the soul. Long Yu directly threw it toward the stunned soul race being. The soul race being was stunned by Long Yu's 9 nether true spirit essence for 2 breaths worth of time. When he regained his senses, he was already sucked into the whirlpool of 9 nether godly script, also known as the Dead Star Spiral Current. The Dead Star Spiral Current of the 9 nether realm is the seed of an innate thaumaturgy. As for what Long Yu used, it was the Dead Star Spiral Current. Naturally, it wasn't that powerful, but as his strength increased, he could use more and more of the Dead Star Spiral Current's power. The Dead Star Spiral Current was like a whirlpool of death. Countless hell sighs rotated within it, sucking in the soul race being's spiritual body and instantly killing it. If the violent dragon magnetic blood only had a disruptive effect on the soul race being, then the Dead Star Spiral Current was completely fatal. Even if it was just a moment of carelessness, the soul race being instantly killed. Its spiritual body was directly minced by the Dead Star Spiral Current. Without any signs of struggle, it had completely perished from this world. After killing the soul race being, Long Yu stood in the arena for a while and sensed the interior of the 9 nether realm. Seeing that the 9 nether realm wasn't affected by his Dead Star Spiral Current, he couldn't help but heave a sigh of relief. It seems like I can still use the Dead Star Spiral Current in the future. It's the Geoyo Dragon Emperor's strongest technique. If I use it unexpectedly, I can definitely kill most of my strong enemies. Even if I used the Dead Star Spiral Current against the Abyss race, I might have been able to directly destroy its soul. As Long Yu thought to himself, he had a happy expression on his face. This meant that his combat power had increased a little. Originally, he was a little worried that using the Dead Star Spiral Current would affect the stability of a 9 nether realm. Now, it seemed that as long as he didn't use it too frequently, there shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then, he turned sideways and slowly walked out of the martial arena. At this moment, everyone in the arena was confused. They didn't know that the battle had ended, and they didn't know that Long Yu had already killed the soul race being. Everyone in the arena only saw Long Yu throw out a black vortex of divine characters. Then, the black vortex of divine characters swirled in the air a few times before disappearing. Then, Long Yu stood in the same place as if he was stunned. After being stunned for a while, he walked out of the arena. I'm afraid that the soul race has already destroyed more than half of this kid's soul and turned him into a retard. Previously, there was a beast cultivator who challenged the soul race and ended up like this. Haha, I knew it. How could this kid be a match for the soul race? The soul race is the 6-star Emperor's warrior on the battlefield. It's a terrifying existence that has been on the battlefield before. If this human kid was the 6-star Emperor, I would have some hope that he could counterattack. However, a 4-star emperor is too weak. He can't be a match for the soul race. Ha ha ha. Get ready to collect the money. This time, Prince Blood Demon is going to suffer a huge loss. Everyone began to discuss. Unfortunately, no one knew that their guesses about the situation in the battle arena were completely wrong. Only the 3 stewards of the ancient Killer King demon race, who were standing at the edge of the martial arena, had shocked expressions on their faces as they stared at Long Yu, who was slowly walking out of the martial arena. As the stewards of the martial arena, they naturally knew everything that had happened within the martial arena. Originally, the 3 stewards thought that Long Yu would probably die at the hands of the soul race. Who would have thought that this kid would suddenly erupt and directly kill the soul race being? Even the stewards of the Killer King Demon Clan did not know what method Long Yu had used and what kind of power he had used to kill the soul race being. This was because in the bloody battlefield, everything that happened in the arena could not be detected by outsiders. Everyone could only see the scene, but they could not feel the power. The reason for this was that the cultivators who came to challenge the foreign races were bound to reveal a lot of their hidden strength. These hidden trump cards were the foundation of these cultivators' safety when they walked in the outside world. If challenging in the bloody battlefield meant exposing one's trump card, the number of cultivators who were willing to challenge would decrease sharply. Because of this, Long Yu had used the Death Star Whirlpool on the stage. Even if he used it, no one would be able to recognize it. This kid actually won. Quickly report to the higher-ups. Number 3 soul race being killed. Chapter 1109. One of the stewards of the Killer King Demon race immediately left to inform the upper management of the bloody battlefield of the news. The remaining 2 stewards of the Killer King Demon race walked toward Long Yu. When Long Yu walked out of the arena, the 2 stewards arrived in front of Long Yu and announced, "Congratulations to this little human brother for killing the sinful 6-star Emperor's soul. We will now present you with your reward." As soon as this was said, the onlookers who had been mocking Long Yu were all dumbfounded. Many people were still hoping that when Long Yu walked off the stage, he would be delirious, which meant that his mind had been severely damaged. But now, it seemed that they were completely wrong. This human cultivator, Mountain Ghost, had not only killed the 6-star Emperor's soul, but he was also not injured at all. His mind was still in a very good state. "Thank you, Senior." Long Yu was quite respectful of the steward of the Killer King Demon race who was giving him the reward. He smiled and nodded. How did he look like he had suffered any serious damage to his mind? The news that the human cultivator, Hill Ghost, had completely defeated a 6-star Imperial Monarch Realm soul cultivator with a strength at the 4-star Imperial Monarch Realm had directly spread throughout the bloody battlefield, and this outcome caused practically everyone in the surroundings to be filled with grief and inconsolable. Of course, these people were not grieving because of the death of the soul, but because they had all bet a lot of demon coins on the soul. Since Long Yu had defeated the soul, their demon coins would all be lost to the Blood Demon Prince. Among everyone, the only one who bet on Long Yu was the Blood Demon Prince's 50 million demon coins. On the other hand, under the leadership of the 3rd Golden Jiao Dragon Prince, a total of 80 million demon coins were bet on the soul. Now, the Blood Demon Prince would receive all of these 80 million demon coins at once. Of course, he would have to pay some taxes to the bloody battlefield. However, the taxes were not much. He would definitely make a net profit of 80 million demon coins. Ha ha ha. Hong Jun immediately laughed out loud. He ran over and gave Long Yu a bear hug. Long Yu couldn't dodge in time and was caught in his arms. He almost couldn't breathe. This Prince Blood Demon was a lower-level sovereign realm expert. His physical body alone was enough to suppress Long Yu. There was no chance for Long Yu to struggle. Isn't this guy a little too enthusiastic? Although I won 80 million demon coins, it shouldn't be this bad. Long Yu was very puzzled. However, he soon felt awkward because after Hong Jun let go of him in the next moment, a plump and soft body pounced on him again and hugged him in her arms again. This person was, of course, Red Oriole. Because she had made an agreement with Hong Jun beforehand. If Long Yu won this round, she would get half of the profits, which was 40 million demon coins. Even for Red Oriole, This was a huge amount of pocket money that could be used to buy many useful things. Even though they were from the same bloodline as the Blood Demon Clan's patriarch, the Blood Demon Clan's patriarch treated them very harshly, apart from providing them with all the cultivation resources, especially when it came to pocket money. Now, Long Yu had exceeded everyone's expectations by killing that Soul Race member. This instantly made Red Oriole's finances richer. You're amazing. I didn't trust you wrongly. You're too amazing. Even I have to spend a lot of effort to deal with a soul of the same realm. I didn't expect you to defeat a soul who is 2 realms above you. Red Oriole hugged Long Yu tightly in her arms and smiled excitedly. One could imagine Long Yu's current mood and expression. His heart was on the verge of collapsing. Wasn't this blood demon princess a little too unrestrained? Although being hugged by this plump body was very pleasurable, Long Yu's mind was constantly repeating that humans and demons should not touch each other. He didn't dare to have any excessive thoughts, not to mention that Red Oriole was a high-level sovereign. But at this time, an idea popped up in Long Yu's mind. Since he was getting along quite well with Red Oriole and Hong Jun, why not transfer all the living beings in Shenwu World of the Nine Serenities realm to their mini-worlds? Wouldn't that solve all his problems? However, transferring so many living beings to their mini-worlds will consume a lot of the heaven and earth spiritual energy of their mini-worlds. It's quite embarrassing. I'll think about it when the time comes. If I haven't entered the Sovereign's secret realm by then, I'll think about it again. Long Yu thought to himself. After venting her emotions, Red Oriole's face was a little red. She finally let go of Long Yu and said, "All right, go and receive your rewards. A bloodstone of slaughter and a lava yao core. Both are quite valuable." Long Yu nodded. Then, he turned his head and received the reward for his victory against the soul race from the hands of the 2 demon race stewards. Among them were 6 million demon coins, a 5th-grade mysterious jade creation item, the bloodstone of slaughter, and an unbounded lava yao core. This was a pill that only the Yao race could consume. After all, the physical structure of the Yao race and the human race were different. Thus, the pills of the 2 races were slightly different. Long Yu already knew about this. In fact, he had seen it when he was on Heavenly Mandate Island. Only some special elixirs could be consumed by both the demon race and the human race. This kind of elixir was relatively rare. The elixirs left behind by the Dragon Emperor of the Abyss were all like this. After all, the specialized elixir refiners were very high-end, and they were powerful existences in the Alliance of Suffers. Refining these special elixirs was definitely not a problem. Bloodstone of Slaughter, a 5th-grade mysterious jade creation item. It's useful to me. The power of creation within it can help me advance towards the 5-star Emperor level. But the lava yao core is useless. Long Yu thought for a moment, then turned his head and asked Hong Jun and Red Oriole, "Do you have any use for this lava yao core? It's an unbounded spiritual energy of heaven and earth, as well as the power of creation. Give it to me. I'll buy it for 40 million demon coins." The corner of Hong Ying's mouth curled up. 40 million demon coins. Long Yu was shocked. Although the value of the lava yao core was about this amount, it was still surprising to Long Yu that Hong Ying would buy it so easily. After all, 40 million demon coins was definitely not a small amount. "This yao core is useful to you?" Long Yu asked. "No, I've used it twice before. But seeing that you're working so hard, you must be in need of money. I'll just buy it, lest you get cheated when you sell it to someone else." Hong Ying pursed her lips and smiled. "All right." Long Yu smiled and did not refuse. 40 million demon coins was definitely a huge sum of money. In the demon race's territory, one could buy at least 10 heavenly source dragon stones and massacre bloodstones with this amount of money. If Long Yu used all of it to buy creation items, he could definitely rise to the level of a 5-star sovereign emperor. However, he had just broken through 2 realms not long ago, so he was still not very familiar with the control of his own strength. For the time being, it was better not to be in such a hurry to break through. Because he had broken through 2 realms, Long Yu discovered that his 3rd and 4th innate sacred ability seeds seemed to be relatively weak. They were incomparable to the strength of the first two innate sacred ability seeds. The dragon breath of the 9 underworlds and the eye of the Umbra. These two mystiques had not truly entered the ranks of the Emperor Path mystiques. They were still a little short and would require Long Yu to spend some time to nurture them. The more talented the practitioner was, the faster he could nurture the innate magical seed, and the faster he could break through to the next level, the Emperor realm. This was the greatest impact of the practitioner's talent on the speed of his martial arts realm in the Emperor realm. Because of this, geniuses who could step into the sovereign secret realm at such a young age definitely had talent that surpassed the average person. Even if other geniuses had countless cultivation resources, it would be difficult for them to step into the sovereign secret realm at the same age as Hong Jun. Not to mention someone like Red Oriole, who had become a higher ruler. All right, little brother, pay up. After the transaction was settled, Red Oriole narrowed her eyes and pulled Hong Jun over, asking him to pay up. Hong Jun nodded and directly passed 40 million demon coins to Long Yu. Then, he took the lava beast core from Long Yu's hands. Of course, this pill was useless to him, but he wouldn't lose too much even if he sold it. That's it. Where's my 40 million? Red Oriole asked in dissatisfaction when she saw that Hong Jun had stopped. Yeah, didn't you use your 40 million to buy the lava beast core? Hong Jun asked subconsciously. He had a bad feeling about this. That's your 40 million. Do you still need my money to buy the lava beast core? Red Oriole glared at him. Give me my 40 million. Hong Jun scowled. He couldn't do anything to his sister. If he didn't listen to her, what awaited him would be hellish torture. He had experienced it many times before. In Long Yu's bet, the Red Monarch had earned a total of 80 million demon coins. However, 40 million was given to Long Yu, and the remaining 40 million was given to Red Oriole. This meant that he had nothing left for himself. His life was extremely miserable, and his future was bleak compared to the excitement of Long Yu's group. The tens of thousands of people around them were gloomy. This was especially true for the Golden Flood Dragon race's golden-armored demonic cultivators. They were so angry that they didn't dare to speak. They were afraid that they would anger the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince and cause a disaster. Who would have imagined that this human kid who just stepped foot into the 4-star Imperial Monarch realm would actually be able to kill a 6-star Imperial Monarch? The third Golden Flood Dragon Prince was so angry that he was trembling. In this battle, not only did he lose 50 million to Prince Blood Demon, but he also lost face. Compared to Long Yu or Prince Blood Demon, he was like a clown. This was a feeling that the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince had never felt in his life. This made his hatred for Long Yu and Prince Blood Demon even more infuriated. Mountain Ghost, do you dare to duel with me? Chapter 11:10. The third Golden Jiao Prince's roar shocked everyone present. Long Yu, Red Monarch, and Red Oriole jumped in fright. They looked at the third Golden Jiao Prince as though he was a lunatic. Duel. Long Yu swept a glance at the third Golden Jiao Prince and smiled. What's in it for me to duel with you for no reason? I don't do things that don't benefit me. Just from the fact that the third Golden Jiao Prince was injured by the Abyss Race's sneak attack, Long Yu knew that this brat's strength was only SOSO. If they really fought, there was no way he would lose to the third Golden Jiao Prince. Therefore, if there were benefits, he didn't mind fighting. Brother Long, be careful. Red Monarch's expression changed slightly. He quietly reminded Long Yu, I feel that his aura today is different from a month ago. It's a sign that he's about to break through. Right now, he's probably looking for an opponent to stimulate himself to break through to the 5-star Emperor realm. That's right. If he succeeds in breaking through to the 5-star Emperor realm in battle, you brat might encounter some trouble. Red Oriole also pondered and said, No worries. I, the 6-star Emperor, have already killed the Soul Race. Even if the third Golden Jiao Prince steps into the 5-star Emperor realm, I have absolute confidence in winning. Long Yu narrowed his eyes. The only difference was how many trump cards he needed to use. Perhaps he wouldn't use any, or he might expose many of them. If you think you can win, I don't mind giving you some benefits. Seeing that Long Yu didn't refuse, The third golden Jiao prince snorted. If you win, I'll give you 100 million demon coins. How about it? 100 million demon coins was enough to buy an Earth Seal grade creation item. Not to mention the Emperor realm, even a sovereign secret realm expert would be able to improve a lot after absorbing an Earth Seal grade creation item. However, when Long Yu heard this, he shook his head and indifferently said, "You want me to take the risk with just 100 million demon coins? It's not worth it. I'm not a fool. Anything can happen in a battle. You are the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demon race. If you die in my hands, wouldn't I be in big trouble? I'm afraid I won't even have the life to spend 100 million demon coins." What he said was true. Many people listened by the side and felt that what Long Yu said was very reasonable. No matter what, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Crown Prince's identity was there. If he were to duel with someone, the other party would definitely be restrained and wouldn't be able to display his true strength. After all, if he killed the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, it would be akin to offending the Golden Flood Dragon demon race to the death. It would absolutely bring about a fatal disaster. When the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince heard this, his face sank. "You want to have a life and death battle with me? I can guarantee that in this duel, no matter who wins or loses, who lives or dies, no one will come looking for trouble afterwards. What you say doesn't count. Your old man has to say it." Hong Jun sneered and said, "If you die, how can the Golden Flood Dragon King, who treats you like a treasure, let my brother go? So, for the sake of fairness, if it's a real duel, the location of the duel will be decided by us." Hong Jun was obviously on Long Yu's side. Now that the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was challenging Long Yu, there might be a life and death crisis during the duel. If one of them really died, it would be a huge matter. First of all, Hong Jun couldn't let Long Yu die inexplicably. So, he had to create the conditions for Long Yu to participate in the duel without any worries. Secondly, this way, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince might not be Long Yu's opponent. If he died in the duel, the Golden Flood Dragon King would come looking for trouble. After all, the Golden Flood Dragon demon race was similar to the Killer King demon race. They had over 30 great Dominator rank experts. In the eyes of the Golden Flood Dragon King, this Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was a treasure that no one could touch. It was no wonder that when he was fighting the Abyss race, he immediately jumped down and admitted defeat. This kid had never suffered much since he was young. He naturally didn't know the hardships of the path of cultivation and the cruelty of a true life and death battle. In the past, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had killed people, and a lot of them. However, that was because the opponents were too weak. When he encountered a truly strong opponent, his father would shield him from the wind and rain. But now, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince took the initiative to challenge Long Yu. It was obvious that he was underestimating Long Yu. "Long Yu, this crown brother probably thinks that you were lucky to win against this soul race." Red Oriole covered her mouth and giggled. She trusted Long Yu quite a bit. After all, Long Yu had defeated the Abyss race and the Soul race, the two most difficult foreign races to deal with. She had already acknowledged Long Yu's strength. Of course, the most important thing was that Red Oriole had experienced Long Yu's reaction speed and combat talent. When she attacked Long Yu, she had used some control techniques, but Long Yu had still managed to avoid a fatal blow. She had only lost an arm. It should be known that she was a super expert of the upper Dominator rank. No matter what he thinks, I can't be bothered to fight this kind of young master if I can't guarantee my life. Long Yu shook his head. Now, it was up to Red Monarch to negotiate on his behalf. This battle was very important. At least in the demon race's territory, in the Iron Wall Galaxy, it would have a series of effects. It might even lead to a change in the future situation of this region. If the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince really died, Long Yu's safety would definitely be a problem. Even if the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince promised that no one would pursue the matter, it was useless for him to make such a promise. After all, the Third Prince would be dead by then. What else could he guarantee? Then where do you want to fight? In your Blood Demon Galaxy? The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince snorted coldly when he saw Red Monarch step forward. That's not necessary. Just find a place close to the teleportation array with the space-time imprint. Red Monarch narrowed his eyes. If you really die, we can run away as fast as possible. Don't you think so? Humph. This crown prince will lose to this human brat? Dream on. The golden flood dragon third prince snorted coldly and looked at Long Yu contemptuously. I don't know what kind of dogshit luck he had to defeat the Abyss race and the Soul race. But in front of this crown prince, luck alone is not enough. Without sufficient strength, everything is in vain. I won't give him any chance. Victory and defeat will only be known after the fight. What's the use of bragging now? Red Monarch dug his ears. In that case, let's fight in the serious arena in 3 days. I will accept your challenge on behalf of Hillghost. I believe he won't mind. I hope you won't run away when the time comes. Red Monarch's relaxed appearance directly angered the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. Listen up. In 3 days, this Crown Prince will kill this human brat in the serious arena. Don't let this Crown Prince run away. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince said coldly to Red Monarch. He then turned around and left with a group of golden armor guards. There were only 3 days left. He had to prepare for the battle. There was no need to waste time here. On King Killer Planet? Is this really okay? Red Oriole couldn't help but frown when she heard Red Monarch's decision. Although the King Killer Goblin race and the Golden Flood Dragon Goblin race aren't close, they are still from the same galaxy. If the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince dies here, the space-time imprint teleportation array will definitely not open to us. We will definitely be trapped here and wait for the Golden Flood Dragon Goblin races, powerhouses, to arrive. They can call for help, but can't we? Stupid. Red Monarch chuckled. I've already informed our cousin and asked him to come here as soon as possible. Anyway, he has just returned from the battlefield of the other race. He should have been resting for the past 2 years. It's good for him to come out and move around. It's too boring to stay at home all the time. Cousin, Red Oriole's expression seemed to change when she heard this. It was obvious that Red Monarch's cousin was a very impressive goblin cultivator. Chapter 1111. 3 days later, Long Yu, Red Monarch, and Red Oriole came to an arena near the space-time imprint transmission array on the Killer King star. It was called the Sirius Arena. Due to the prevalence of martial arts in the Iron Wall galaxy, there were all kinds of arenas. The Sirius Arena was just one of the thousands of arenas on the Killer King star, and it was the closest to the space-time imprint transmission array. The person in charge of this arena was a member of the Killer King monster clan, so the duel here was guaranteed to be fair. In 3 days, the news that Long Yu and the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan were going to duel in the Sirius Arena had spread throughout the entire Killer King star. It even spread to many nearby cultivation planets, attracting many monster cultivators to gather at the Sirius Arena. The number of monster cultivators in the Killer King city on the entire Killer King star continued to increase, at least 50% more than before. All of them came to watch the duel between Long Yu and the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan. Originally, not many people paid attention to this matter. After all, many people had fought against the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan, but each and every one of them died in his hands. However, because the Sirius Arena wanted to increase the influence of this duel, they kept publicizing Long Yu's strength as a human race cultivator and belittling the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan. They mainly spread the news of Long Yu defeating the Abyss race and the Soul race in the bloody battlefield, which made many people quite curious about this human race called Mountain Ghost. In addition, the one fighting against Long Yu was the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan, who had been famous in the Iron Wall galaxy for several years and was rumored to be one of the future successors of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan. Many people wanted to see the glory of the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan, and at the same time, see how talented the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monster Clan was. Of course, they came from all directions and gathered near the Sirius Arena. When Long Yu, Hong Jun, and Red Oriole arrived at the Celestial Wolf Battle Arena, there were already many demonic cultivators gathered there. Demonic cultivators from various races were all gathered here, ready to watch the battle between Long Yu and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. There are actually so many people here. Looks like the serious battle arena has put in a lot of hard work to promote itself in order to raise its popularity. When Red Oriole arrived, she was shocked by the sea of people. The more the merrier. We can take the opportunity to earn a large sum of money. Red Lord's eyes lit up. He was filled with anticipation. Forget it. Red Oriole knocked him on the head and sneered. If Long Yu defeats the third prince, I'm afraid he'll really take his life. Even if you participate in this bet, who will give you the money? Dream on. These words jolted Red Lord awake. He chuckled. That's right. Forget it. I won't participate in today's bet. I'll just watch the battle. Brother Dragon, don't disappoint us. That's right. Little Brother Dragon, this Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince has an extraordinary background. I'm afraid he's made ample preparations in the past 3 days. You can't let your guard down. Red Oriole said to Long Yu. Her beautiful face had a solemn expression. Long Yu was already used to her calling him Little Brother Dragon in the past 3 days. He couldn't stop her from calling him that. But I've made some progress in the past 3 days. There shouldn't be any danger. Sister Oriole, don't worry. Long Yu said with a smile. Currently, Long Yu was in a good mood. Everything was because in the past 3 days, he had unexpectedly comprehended a trace of the Four Symbols Death Prison's aura. The Four Symbols Death Prison was an ancient god-forbidden technique that the Jiuyo Dragon Emperor kept. Long Yu had never seen anyone use this level of technique anywhere. The Four Symbols Death Prison was a powerful forbidden technique that even the Jiuyo Dragon Emperor couldn't fully grasp. But now, Long Yu had actually comprehended a trace of its aura by chance. The Four Symbols Death Prison mainly contained the 4 types of energy: Azura, Hell, Yellow Springs, and Death. Perhaps it was because he had defeated the Soul Race. Long Yu had some comprehension in terms of mental strength. So, he finally felt a trace of Azura's aura. Although the comprehension of this trace of Azura's aura was far from being able to form the complete Four Symbols Death Prison, it allowed Long Yu to take an important step forward. Moreover, if he used it, there might be an unexpected effect. After all, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was a 4-star Imperial Monarch demonic cultivator, and he was even one of the top 4-star Imperial Monarchs. His true strength was probably at the level of a 6-star Imperial Monarch, and coupled with the preparations he had made during these 3 days, he might have some trump cards. Previously, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was too careless in the battle against the Abyss race. It had nothing to do with his own strength. Long Yu's battle was still not simple, and he couldn't afford to be careless. As Long Yu's group of 3 walked into the serious arena, the millions of cultivators in the arena who had been waiting for a long time immediately cheered. Everyone was looking forward to today's battle. Now that the battle was finally about to begin, countless people were excited and discussed with each other. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was seriously injured by a 4-star Emperor from the Abyss race in the bloody battlefield. That Abyss race was killed by this human mountain ghost. That's right. Moreover, after the human mountain ghost defeated the Abyss race, he has already advanced by 2 realms and is also a 4-star Emperor. His strength is even stronger than when he fought against the Abyss race. He has a high chance of winning against the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. What a joke. Don't you know that when a mountain ghost fought against the 4-star Emperor from the Abyss race, the Abyss race was already seriously injured by the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince? He just took advantage of the situation. Who knows how strong he is? If the mountain ghost isn't strong, how can he defeat the soul race of the 6-star Emperor? Moreover, I believe that the mountain ghost isn't a fool, since he dared to accept the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's challenge. He must have confidence in himself. It's too hard to guess who will win and who will lose in this duel. Let's just quietly watch the duel and wait for the results. Everyone was guessing the final outcome of this duel. In some private gambling houses set up by some forces, the odds of Long Yu and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince were actually about the same. All of this was due to the serious battle arena's publicity of Long Yu's deeds in the bloody battlefield. This gave everyone a lot more confidence in Long Yu. Otherwise, this duel wouldn't have attracted so many people to watch. Only an evenly matched duel could attract some martial arts powerhouses to come and watch. This was because a one-sided battle was meaningless. The security of this place is quite tight. There's no doubt about the fairness of the duel. However, if you really kill the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, there will definitely be a lot of trouble. These tight security will become the greatest strength that will trap us. The Red Lord looked around the entire serious battle arena and said softly, "Yes." Long Yu also narrowed his eyes. He also saw many upper-level ruler-level guard commanders leading their subordinates to patrol the entire serious battle arena. These guards were not only from the serious battle arena, but also from the official forces of the Killer King Fei race. If this duel went badly, it would be a huge matter. Therefore, the Killer King Fei race didn't dare to underestimate it. Even the two great rulers of the Killer King Fei race heard about this duel and rushed to the serious battle arena to watch the duel between Long Yu and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. To a great ruler, a battle at the level of a 4-star emperor was like child's play. It wasn't interesting at all. However, to see the strength of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince would be a good reference. After all, these great rulers of the Killer King Fei race also had juniors that could be used as a reference for the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. The Golden Flood Dragon demonic race is over there. Red Oriole pointed to a direction in the spectator stands. In that direction, there were over 1,000 golden-armored demonic cultivators. They were all experts from the Golden Flood Dragon demonic race. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was surrounded by these 1,000 golden armored guards. Among these 1,000 golden armored guards, there were several upper-level ruler-level experts. It was enough to ensure the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's daily safety. They actually came with over 1,000 people. What a grand scene. It seems like if I kill the Third Prince today, it will be very difficult for me to leave this place alive. Long Yu said with narrowed eyes. Don't worry, little brother Long. With me here, unless the Third Prince has the ability to kill you in the martial arena, no one can touch you. Red Oriole giggled and once again pulled Long Yu into her bosom. All right, little brother Long, let's go to the martial arena. Don't disappoint me. I'm still waiting for you to bring me to see the legendary 9th Nether Saintess. Long Yu was speechless. However, in the past 3 days, he knew what Red Oriole was thinking. As a young genius, Red Oriole had long heard of the 9th Nether Saintess consort Yu's martial talent. Therefore, she had always been very curious about consort Yu. Now that she saw Long Yu and realized that even Long Yu was so powerful, she was naturally even more curious about consort Yu. Therefore, she wanted to follow Long Yu for a while and see if she could meet consort Yu. To Long Yu, this was of course nothing. With such a superior ruler following him, his safety was guaranteed. The only thing he didn't know was how long this girl was going to follow him. In truth, Long Yu was not younger than Red Oriole. However, because he was born in a small world, he lacked cultivation resources. Thus, he was only at the martial realm of a 4-star emperor. Calling her little brother Long made Long Yu blush with shame. Of course, now was not the time to be concerned about this. Under the gazes of over 1 million Fey cultivators, the duel between Long Yu and the Third Prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race was finally about to begin. Although there were strong enemies surrounding him, Long Yu was not afraid. This was because he knew that Hong Jun and Red Oriole had already made full preparations for today's duel. Unless he was killed by the Third Prince in the martial arena, he would definitely not be in any danger. Chapter 11-12. Deafening cheers rang out in the Sky Wolf battle arena. When Long Yu and the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince walked onto the giant battle arena in the center, everyone's emotions were boiling. This highly anticipated duel was finally about to begin. Long Yu, dressed in black, stepped onto the giant battle arena in the center. This was the largest battle arena in the Sky Wolf battle arena. It had a radius of 300 meters, and the surrounding spectator stands could accommodate millions of people. At the edge of the battle arena, There was a protective barrier that ensured that the two duelists wouldn't harm the spectators outside the battle arena. It was very safe. The golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince was wearing a set of golden armor. His entire body glowed with golden light, and he looked extremely dazzling. Coupled with his status as the third prince of the golden Jiao Dragon demonic race, it seemed like his chances of winning were much higher than Long Yu's. However, Long Yu didn't care about this because he knew that the outcome of a battle had nothing to do with one's appearance. The stronger one was the stronger one's aura. Everything depended on one's strength. You're finally here. I thought you ran away. The golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince stood in the center of the battle arena and chuckled at Long Yu. His words contained a strong sense of disdain. That's strange. You were the one who was severely injured by the Abyss Tribe, and I killed the Abyss Tribe member. Where did you get the confidence to say that I would run away? Long Yu said indifferently as he mocked the third prince. Enough nonsense. Didn't you just take advantage of the situation? The Abyss Tribe member that was severely injured by this crown prince can be easily killed by anyone. Do you really think you're that great? You won't be able to return from today's battle. The golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's eyes were filled with endless murderous intent. He actually wanted to kill Long Yu. Long Yu wasn't surprised. This kind of pampered young master had never encountered any setbacks since he was young, so he always thought that he was number one. However, the Crown Prince had humiliated Long Yu, so there was no way the Crown Prince would let him off. As long as there was a chance, he would definitely kill Long Yu. As for Long Yu, how could he agree to this duel without thinking? Even if Long Yu didn't agree to the duel, the third Golden Flood Dragon Crown Prince would find all sorts of opportunities to attack Long Yu. Rather than being ambushed, it was better to fight openly. In a one-on-one fight, Long Yu was almost certain that the third prince had no chance of beating him, even if the third prince possessed a terrifying divine grade absolute beginning weapon. Back in Shenwu World, Yi Ziwei also had a divine grade absolute beginning weapon, but she still wasn't a match for Long Yu at the same level. Not to mention now, Long Yu's methods were much stronger than before. Then Long Yu didn't plan to make the first move. Instead, he planned to wait patiently. Because of his balance control, he knew the third prince's movements like the back of his hand, so he could deal with any method the third prince used. Arrogant. The third prince snorted coldly. Golden light flashed from his body, and a powerful space divine rune power fused with the radiant divine rune. Golden Flood Dragon Flurry. Long Yu had seen this Emperor Path mystique before. It was a method the third prince used to deal with the Abyss Tribe. Unfortunately, the Abyss Tribe easily saw through it, so it didn't have any effect. You're the arrogant one to use such a method against me, aren't you? Long Yu narrowed his eyes. This third prince was too stupid. Golden Flood Dragon Flurry wasn't enough to deal with the Abyss Tribe, but Long Yu had already defeated the Abyss Tribe when he was still a 2-star emperor. Although the Abyss Tribe was heavily injured, from Long Yu's point of view, it wasn't much different from its peak state. After the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince used the Golden Flood Dragon Flurry, the power of the spatial divine characters on his body increased his speed to the limit, causing his divine body to be like the sharpest blade. The power of the golden radiant divine characters seemed to be able to tear space apart. The entire body of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had turned into a killing machine as it swept towards Long Yu. Long Yu stood at his original position, not even moving a single step. A layer of death chi gradually appeared around his entire body. Death chi wrapped around his body. This was a technique derived from the Death Realm body refining technique. It could use death chi to weaken any attacks. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince violently attacked. The Golden Flood Dragon danced chaotically, transforming into countless sharp spatial blades, wanting to tear Long Yu's body apart. However, Long Yu stood in his original position, majestic and unmoving. After the death aura around him was dispersed by the Golden Light Blade, there was still a layer of death armor. This layer of death armor was also torn apart by the Golden Light Blade. But immediately after, Long Yu's body forcibly blocked the countless slashes of the opponent's Golden Light Blades. Berserker Fist Cannon. Long Yu clenched his fists tightly. Relying on the secret martial arts technique of balance control, he found an opportunity and punched to the side. The terrifying fist accurately landed on the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's body. When using the Golden Flood Dragon Flurry, the Third Prince's body had been moving at an extreme speed, transforming into a sharp golden blade. He hadn't expected that Long Yu would be able to hit him with a single punch under such circumstances. And the power of this punch was beyond the Third Prince's imagination. The Berserker Fist Cannon was an unbounded martial technique derived from the Berserker celestial body. It had the possibility of exploding with endless power. The punch that Long Yu threw at the Third Prince exploded with twice the power, and the Third Prince's body was directly sent flying. He drew a golden streak of light in midair, and then crashed into the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. This punch sent the Third Prince flying more than 300 meters. Moreover, while the Golden Flood Dragon Flurry was in the state, Yi Shiwen had accurately tracked his movements and sent him flying. This scene instantly caused the entire arena to be filled with exclamations of shock. Everyone was shocked by Long Yu's punch. The millions of demonic cultivators in the arena, as well as many human cultivators who had come from afar, had some understanding of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic tribe. Almost all the Golden Flood Dragon demonic tribe cultivators had comprehended the mystique of the Golden Flood Dragon Flurry. When this mystique was used, their bodies would turn into golden blades, and their speed would increase to the limit. To accurately bombard the body of the Golden Flood Dragon demonic tribe in the midst of countless golden blades was unimaginably difficult, let alone to directly send him flying. The Golden Flood Dragon demonic tribe was a demonic tribe. How strong was its body? It was actually sent flying by a single punch from Long Yu. Long Yu wore black clothes and stood quietly in the center of the martial arena. From start to finish, he didn't move a single step. He slowly retracted his fist, and the berserker runes on his body flowed with light, causing him to look somewhat arrogant and unruly. His aura was extremely dense and vigorous. Long Yu didn't say anything. He only looked indifferently at the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Crown Prince who was sent flying. There was a faintly discernible smile on his face. Right now, it was useless to say anything. Only the facts would prove everything. Of course, Long Yu didn't think that he could completely defeat the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince with just one punch. That guy's body was still very strong. Even when he encountered the sudden, fatal explosion of the Abyss race, he was only seriously injured and not on the verge of death. Using a strong body to fight seems to be the foundation, because only then can one truly be invincible. Long Yu felt a little emotional. No matter how strong a cultivator's divine runes were, if their body was weak, they could still be easily killed by sneak attacks. There were even mental attacks and other methods to control and then kill them. No matter what, there was a risk of being killed. However, only by having a strong body could one ensure that they wouldn't be killed and stand until the end of the battle. Of course, if it was against a foreign race like the Soul race, then it would be a different story. The strength of the body would become meaningless. Only the strength of the mind and soul would be tested. Really, I've underestimated you, huh? The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's laughter quickly resounded in the arena and spread throughout the entire arena. Then, his body once again floated in the air and flew towards Long Yu. Still not going to transform into the Golden Flood Dragon's true body, Long Yu narrowed his eyes. This Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince still didn't put him in his eyes and still looked down on him. This brat who was still wet behind the ears was truly laughable. However, no matter what, Long Yu wouldn't look down on his opponent. The Berserker Divine runes on his body circulated again. Since the other party didn't transform into the Golden Flood Dragon's true body, Long Yu didn't plan to use the Divine runes. It was enough to use his body to fight. If a monster race cultivator transformed into their true body, the strength of their body and divine runes would increase a lot. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince didn't transform into his true body. Obviously, he didn't pay enough attention to Long Yu. Such a guy, if he really went to the foreign race's battlefield, would probably be the first to die. His path of martial arts had been too smooth, causing him to lose his sense of reverence. The path of martial arts was endless. Once he lost his sense of reverence, there would be a problem with his mentality. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince flew over. Golden light revolved around his body, condensing into 3 golden light vortexes. He had actually unleashed a 5th-grade God Array, wanting to use it to deal with Long Yu. A God Array, and it's only a grade 5 God Array. It's still too early to kill me with this. Killing intent flashed across Long Yu's eyes. Once again, his entire body was enveloped in death energy and death armor. Next, he charged towards the 3 golden light vortexes surging towards him. Berserker, Fist Cannon. Long Yu clenched his fist and punched out. Instantly, his fist that was strengthened by the Berserker Divine Runes burst out with 3 times the power. With a single punch, the first golden light vortex exploded. Following that, 2 more golden light vortexes directly surrounded Long Yu. A terrifying cutting force covered his body, wanting to cut him into pieces. Chapter 11:13. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon used a 5th-grade Divine Array. Its power was not weak, but Long Yu had completely destroyed the 3 golden light vortexes with just his physical strength. This situation caused the 3rd Golden Jiao Dragon Crown Prince's expression to change. Following that, Long Yu directly punched out, hitting the Crown Prince's chest. Once again, the 3rd Golden Jiao Dragon Crown Prince was sent flying, heavily slamming into the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. This was the 2nd time the 3rd Prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon was sent flying by a punch from Long Yu. This kid is too arrogant. Hurry up and show your Golden Jiao Dragon body. Among the group of thousands of golden armor guards of the Golden Jiao Dragon demon race, one of them was the elder of the 3rd Prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon. At this moment, he was quite nervous. He had already noticed that the 3rd Prince had been sent flying twice in a row, although they were separated by a protective barrier, making it impossible for him to estimate just how strong Long Yu's physical body was. He knew that if the 3rd Prince didn't reveal his Golden Jiao body, he definitely wouldn't be a match for this human brat. I didn't expect this human kid called Mountain Ghost to have some ability. It's not in vain that we came from afar to watch this battle. That's right. This battle is also a test for the Crown Prince. If he can defeat the human Kid Mountain Ghost, the Crown Prince's combat experience will be richer. Rich experience is secondary. There are more ways to increase it. The important thing is to increase his confidence on the path of martial arts. If he wants to have great achievements on the path of martial arts, confidence is the first requirement. The people of the Golden Jiao Dragon Demon race were discussing. Although the 3rd Prince had been sent flying twice by Long Yu, they still didn't think that the 3rd Prince would lose to Long Yu. After all, the strength of the 3rd Prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon was definitely at the top among the cultivators of the same realm. There were geniuses of the same level in the human race, but they were definitely not Mountain Ghost. No one had heard of this name, so naturally, they didn't think that he was very powerful. In the arena, the 3rd Prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon, who had been sent flying twice by Long Yu, couldn't bear it anymore. He was sure that Long Yu's physical strength was above his. Therefore, it was imperative for him to transform into his Golden Jiao Dragon body. It didn't matter if he did it sooner or later. In any case, he couldn't embarrass himself anymore. Golden Flood Dragon's main body, Golden Lightning Storm. The 3rd Golden Flood Dragon Crown Prince's body instantly emitted a dazzling golden light. His entire body turned into a Golden Flood Dragon that soared in the air above the arena. Following that, the golden light transformed into countless bolts of berserk golden lightning, accompanied by a golden gale that swept towards Long Yu. In an instant, Long Yu was sucked in, drowning in a sea of berserk golden lightning. It's a grade 4 God Array. Long Yu's face sank when he sensed the might contained within the golden lightning. Indeed, after the 3rd Golden Flood Dragon Crown Prince transformed into his true form, his attacks were much stronger than before. This golden light violent thunder was at least 4 to 5 times more powerful than the previous golden light vortex. If Long Yu was an ordinary 4-star emperor, he would have been turned into ashes by this move. Of course, to Long Yu, a grade 4 god array was still lacking. Facing the violent golden lightning that filled the sky, he raised his hand and took out the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram. Dragon Blood Heavenly Shield Diagram. Death Armor. Death Aura Entanglement. Siphon Totem. 4 moves were executed by Long Yu almost instantaneously. The Dragon Blood Heavenly Shield Diagram transformed into a blood-colored shield wall that blocked Long Yu's body. Death Aura Entanglement and Death Armor followed, protecting Long Yu's body. Finally, the 5 Siphon Totem diagrams appeared in the void not far from Long Yu. As soon as they appeared, they produced 5 extremely strong suction forces that absorbed the violent golden lightning in the surroundings. After being absorbed by the 5 Siphon Totem diagrams, the remaining violent golden lightning's power was weakened by at least 50%. Following that, the Dragon Blood Heavenly Shield Diagram, Death Armor, and Death Aura Entanglement weakened it layer by layer. In the end, the violent golden lightning that bombarded Long Yu's body was no longer violent and could not cause him any harm. Dragon Blood Divine Diagram. Following that, Long Yu's figure moved and directly broke through the violent golden lightning ocean. He appeared in front of the 3rd prince, who had transformed into the golden Jiao dragon. Then, the Dragon Blood Sacred Diagram extended and a blood-colored divine chain completely locked the 3rd prince within. Roar! The 3rd prince, who had transformed into the golden Jiao dragon, immediately let out a furious roar. Golden light erupted from his body, and the power of the divine runes erupted. He used an Emperor's Path divine skill, which was just enough to destroy Long Yu's Dragon Blood divine diagram. Mountain Ghost Die! The 3rd prince roared angrily, and his entire golden Jiao dragon body rushed toward Long Yu. He wandered in the void, constantly changing his position, making it impossible for others to lock onto his tracks. This was also a method of divine chains. It could increase one's speed and create some afterimages. In an instant, the main bodies of several golden Jiao dragons appeared in the arena. Golden Jiao dragons surged toward Long Yu from all directions. Balance Control. Long Yu used the Eyes of Shadow and combined it with Balance Control. He easily saw through the golden Jiao dragon clones. Without hesitation, his speed suddenly increased, and he instantly appeared in front of the 3rd prince, throwing another punch. Boom! The 3rd prince's main body was directly sent flying by Long Yu's punch, and he once again crashed into the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. The other golden Jiao dragon clones all shattered and dissipated at this moment, no longer able to confuse Long Yu. I'm also a 4-star emperor. If this guy doesn't have any powerful means, he won't be a match for me. Long Yu thought. Although he had the upper hand, he still maintained his vigilance. This was because he knew the identity of his opponent. He was the 3rd prince of the golden Jiao dragon demonic race, and he must have brought a lot of treasures to participate in this life-and-death duel. He probably had a lot of trump cards, and any one of them could easily suppress or even kill Long Yu. Therefore, Long Yu couldn't be careless no matter what. Even if he gained the upper hand for a moment, it would be meaningless. As long as there was an accident, his previous advantage would be gone, and he might even be killed by his opponent. In such a situation, Long Yu naturally wouldn't allow it to happen. As the 3rd prince of the golden Jiao dragon was once again sent flying by Long Yu, the entire Sirius arena was filled with cheers. These were the spectators who had bet on Long Yu's victory. The proportion of these people was relatively small, but the actual number was still very large. Among the 1 million people present, at least 100,000 people had bet on Long Yu's victory. This battle, in the eyes of ordinary people, was evenly matched. That was why it was interesting and exciting, and they were looking forward to it. However, for the people of the golden Jiao dragon demonic race, they didn't think so. Of course, they felt that their 3rd prince would definitely obtain the final victory, because it wasn't the first time the 3rd prince had issued such a challenge. They were used to the third prince being able to erupt and defeat his opponent in the end. Therefore, this time, the people of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race never thought that the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race would lose to a human kid like Long Yu. Under such circumstances, the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race was sent flying 3 times in a row, but it didn't shake their confidence. After all, he was the third prince of their race, a powerful existence that represented the entire Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race. If the third prince were to lose to such an unknown human kid, wouldn't the entire Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race lose all face? When the third prince was sent flying by Long Yu for the 3rd time and crashed into the protective barrier of the arena, the third prince's anger had reached its peak. In his entire life, he had never been so humiliated. He was actually sent flying 3 times by a human kid in the arena in front of millions of people. He was the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race, but he was actually beaten up by an unknown human kid in the arena. What face would he have left if this news spread? The Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race's female Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race, who had a crush on him, would probably be extremely disappointed. Damn it, Shan Gui, you're going to die today. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race roared, and a golden light once again shone from the arena. The power of the golden divine runes quickly spread across the arena and erupted from the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race's body, gradually condensing into a ball of golden light in the void. At first glance, this ball of golden light seemed like an ordinary divine ability, but Long Yu was immediately alerted to it. 5 elements absolute beginning, divine absolute beginning. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. Although he wasn't too surprised, he was still shocked when he saw it with his own eyes. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race really possessed a divine absolute beginning. It was hard to tell what a divine absolute beginning was from its appearance, but for the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race, it must be one of his trump cards. He didn't expect that he would use it against Long Yu. If Long Yu was killed now, no one would know that the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race had actually used a divine absolute beginning. No one would be able to discover such a move. After all, the defensive barrier of the Sky Wolf Arena was jointly constructed by many Sovereign Realm experts. It was enough to block the probing of millions of spectators with their divine senses. The spectators could only see the light and shadows on the arena, but they couldn't sense the aura on the arena. Even if a divine absolute beginning appeared, it would be difficult to detect it. Moreover, in the martial arena, the golden light was constantly flashing. That ball of golden light was not particularly conspicuous, except for Long Yu himself, who was in the martial arena. Long Yu immediately discovered that the ball of golden light was a divine absolute beginning. Therefore, he was immediately alerted. He knew that the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race had truly used a powerful move. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race had previously been beaten up because he didn't want to reveal his trump card. Now that he had taken out a divine absolute beginning, the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race had definitely become serious. Alright, this is the only way I can see how strong the so-called geniuses of the demon race are, and how powerful a divine absolute beginning artifact is. Not only was Long Yu not afraid, but his eyes lit up. If the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon demonic race really didn't have the slightest ability to resist, then he would be too disappointed. Chapter 11:14. With the appearance of the divine grade absolute beginning, Long Yu could finally confirm that the Golden Jiao Dragon third prince had some strength. Otherwise, this duel would be too boring. Long Yu didn't even need to use any tricks to defeat an ordinary cultivator of the same realm. His physical body alone was enough to crush other 4-star Emperor cultivators. The Golden Jiao Dragon third prince's divine grade absolute beginning definitely surpassed the level of an ordinary 4-star Emperor. Moreover, this might not be the third prince's final trump card. Interesting. Let's fight then. A shrewd look flashed across Long Yu's eyes. He was even more interested in this duel. Perhaps his strength would grow further after this battle. Mountain Ghost, you're dead meat. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince was extremely angry at this moment. He would never use the Divine Grade Absolute Beginning unless it was a matter of life and death. This was his final trump card. Moreover, if he used the Divine Grade Absolute Beginning now, the millions of spectators outside might notice something. This would expose one of his trump cards. Although it wasn't his biggest trump card, it would still be troublesome if it was exposed. However, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince couldn't care less now. If he didn't use the Divine Grade Absolute Beginning, he wouldn't be a match for Long Yu. Therefore, this was his only choice. Golden Hole of Absolute Beginning. Divine Light Devour. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's eyes flickered with golden light. The golden light instantly condensed into a huge golden hole. From the golden hole, countless golden divine lights were emitted along with an endless suction force. Divine Light Devour was the first skill awakened by the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's Absolute Beginning Divine Grade Absolute Beginning skill. Endless golden light shot out from the golden hole and devoured everything around it. Of course, Long Yu also suffered from an extremely strong devouring power, causing him to be unable to stand still for a moment. There was an unceasing strong suction force, accompanied by rays of golden light, pulling him towards the golden hole. Divine Grade Absolute Beginning. An awakened move is indeed extraordinary. Long Yu's face sank. He could feel that the golden hole definitely contained an extremely strong destructive power. Once he was sucked into the golden hole, even with his strong physical body, he would definitely not have a good ending. God-grade absolute primordium battle weapons were beyond the unbounded level, and therefore it was only natural that they would be extraordinary. Not to mention, the Third Prince's absolute primordium god of lightning and absolute primordium golden hole had been completely awakened. This absolute beginning divine grade was the same as Yi Ziwei's absolute beginning thunder seal. It was a metal attribute absolute beginning divine grade. The metal attribute absolute beginning divine grade had the strongest destructive power. Therefore, even Long Yu did not dare to casually test the might of the golden hole at this moment. God formation, 9 abysses. Long Yu had no choice but to use this grade 3 divine formation. The destructive power of this divine formation was absolutely top-notch. Since he couldn't defend against the suction force of the other party, then he could only destroy the golden hole before he was devoured. 9 pitch-black spatial cracks quickly appeared beside Long Yu, and then spread towards the golden hole at an extremely fast speed. In addition to the suction force of the golden light rays, it caused the 9 pitch-black cracks of the divine Array 9 abyss to attack the golden hole at the fastest speed possible. The awakened power of the divine grade absolute beginning divine grade and the power of Long Yu's shadow-type divine runes and god formation technique, which had reached the 11th level, clashed with each other, creating a black and golden vortex that exploded. Battle-mad, celestial body. Defense. Long Yu could feel the power of the 2 types of energy attacking the whirlpool. He immediately clenched his teeth, and all the berserker runes on his body condensed on the surface. At this moment, he finally had the feeling that he was about to break through. Berserker Celestial Body was the easiest to make breakthroughs in high-intensity battles. At this moment, Long Yu really did feel the danger of death. If he couldn't defend against the explosion of the 2 forces, he would definitely die. Therefore, at this moment, his warring celestial body was greatly stimulated. Finally, under this stimulation, it made another breakthrough, stepping from the beginner level to the small success level. This caused his entire body to be enveloped in a layer of white light barrier. This barrier was completely condensed from Berserker's divine runes. In theory, it could withstand any powerful attack. After all, the Berserker Celestial Body was an unbounded martial skill. If he was lucky, he could explode with power that surpassed the limit. Of course, if Long Yu wanted to explode with the power of the Berserker Celestial Body, the possibility was relatively low. After all, he was only at the minor completion level. If he reached the major completion level, or the peak, or even the perfect transcendent level, then the possibility of exploding with power would be much higher. At that time, the unbounded martial skill would be considered a true unbounded martial skill. Even so, Long Yu's Berserker's celestial body, which had reached the minor completion level, still had a defense that surpassed all other techniques. The Berserker Barrier's defense was more than 5 times that of the Death Armor. This was a new technique of Long Yu's. At the same time, his fleshly body was much stronger than before. This was the advantage of an unbounded martial skill. Once it broke through, it would bring about earth-shattering changes. The energy whirlpool that erupted from the collision of the Golden Hole and the Divine Array 9 Abyss instantly swept towards Long Yu and engulfed him. Amidst the violent golden and black-colored energy, Long Yu's figure suddenly became erratic and blurry. On the other side, the third prince, who had transformed into the Golden Jiao Dragon, was also sucked into the energy vortex. However, there was a dazzling golden barrier on the surface of his body. It was a defensive technique that relied on the absolute beginning golden cave, which was the divine absolute beginning artifact. Its defensive capabilities weren't any weaker than Long Yu's Berserker Barrier. Even a 4-star Emperor of the Abyss tribe would be annihilated by this power vortex. There's no way the human kid can survive. After all, even I, the Crown Prince, have to use the second awakening technique of the absolute beginning golden hollow. That's my strongest defensive technique. The third prince continued to sense the situation on Long Yu's side with his probing technique. However, there was no information at all. The power vortex was so powerful that it almost blocked all his senses. But thinking about it, Long Yu would definitely not be able to escape this calamity, because the devouring divine light he had unleashed, combined with the explosive power of Long Yu, had already engulfed the entire martial arena. No matter where he hid, it was useless. He could only face it head-on. In terms of defensive ability, the third prince certainly did not think that Long Yu was stronger than him. The golden and black energy vortexes continued for nearly the time it took for an incense stick to burn. After that time, the golden and pitch-black light in the entire arena gradually dispersed, allowing everyone outside the arena to see the situation in the arena once more. They're not dead. The figures of Long Yu and the third prince appeared in front of the crowd one after another. Everyone's expression changed. They did not expect that the two of them would not die in such an intense clash of powers. Not only did they not die, but they also looked as if they had not suffered any injuries. Their bodies were as good as new. What? Of course, the Golden Flood Dragon third prince was also very surprised. He knew that his defense was very strong, but he did not expect Long Yu's defense to be so strong as well. To be able to survive such a powerful energy vortex without suffering any injuries, it really surprised him. The third prince roared angrily. He did not stop and continued to blast the golden light. The third move of the absolute beginning divine grade golden light explosion was directly cast toward Long Yu. Golden Jiao power. An enormous aura descended upon Long Yu like a mountain. It was a suppression technique, a control technique cast by the absolute beginning golden cave. That tyrannical and terrifying aura was something that even the people outside of the martial arena could clearly feel, despite being separated by a thick protective barrier. Not to mention Long Yu, who was directly facing the Golden Flood Dragon's aura on the martial arena. Amazing! Long Yu's eyes lit up. This move of the Golden Flood Dragon had the same effect as his 9 Nether True Spirit deterrents. Both of them used their auras to suppress the opponent, and the effect was clearly quite good. All along, Long Yu had never felt that his 9 Nether True Spirit's deterrence ability was unique, but he had never encountered it before. He never thought that the Golden Flood Dragon third prince would actually have such a move. Although Long Yu was surprised, he did not think that it would be troublesome to deal with this move, because he had cultivated the 5th stage of the pure body. All aura attacks, mental attacks, soul attacks, control techniques, all of them would not have a good effect on Long Yu. Pure body. When the enormous golden Jiao power descended upon Long Yu's head, Long Yu shouted, and the power of the pure body erupted, instantly dispersing the golden Jiao power's 80% suppression. The remaining 20% could not restrict Long Yu's movements at all. Scarlet Blood. Long Yu finally unleashed a grade 3 God Array. This was also a psychic attack. If someone used this on Long Yu, they would most likely not be able to do anything to him. However, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was different. The Crimson Blood Divine formation erupted, and in an instant, a blood-red color spread across the arena. It almost dyed the eyes of the Golden Jiao's main body blood red. His killing intent became even more pervasive, and his mood became even more ruthless. Long Yu rarely used the Scarlet Blood Divine formation. This divine formation could reflect the opponent's mind and increase the opponent's killing intent. Its greatest effect was to make the opponent lose some of their normal judgment when filled with killing intent. Chapter 11:15. The Scarlet Blood Divine Formation was a third-grade divine formation that Long Yu had comprehended from the divine fruit of the Nine Dark Moon. It was a divine formation technique that even the Juyo Dragon Emperor often used, and it could effectively disrupt the opponent's judgment. At this moment, the third prince was affected by the Scarlet Blood Divine Formation. The eyes of the third prince's main body immediately turned blood red, showing his frenzied killing intent. Golden light burst out as the third prince activated the absolute beginning golden hole and launched another attack on Long Yu. It was another move of the Golden Flood Dragon's aura. The Golden Flood Dragon's aura had already been broken by Long Yu's pure physique. If the third prince was still rational, he definitely wouldn't use this move again. Unfortunately, the Scarlet Blood Divine Formation affected the Crown Prince's judgment, causing him to use the Golden Flood Dragon's aura once again. The dazzling golden light, along with boundless aura, surged towards Long Yu in an attempt to completely suppress Long Yu's physical body. Unfortunately, this move was basically useless against Long Yu. Pure physique break. Long Yu's body emitted the radiance of the pure physique, directly breaking the Golden Flood Dragon's aura. Then, he raised his hand, and the 9 Nether Divine characters condensed once again. Divine Formation 9 Abyss. The Grade 3 God Array was activated. Instantly, 9 pitch-black spatial cracks extended towards the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. The dense and strange destructive aura caused the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince to develop a defensive instinct. Golden Flood Dragon Barrier. The third prince subconsciously used the power of the Absolute Beginning Divine Grade and used the second move of the Absolute Beginning Divine Grade Awakening. This was a layer of golden light defensive barrier. Its defensive ability was definitely not inferior to the Berserker barrier that Long Yu had broken through. It was extremely powerful. If it was under normal circumstances, when the Golden Flood Dragon Third Crown Prince used this defensive technique, there wouldn't be any power that could easily penetrate it. But unfortunately, Long Yu intentionally used the Crown Prince's mentality to catch him off guard. Very good. I've used the Golden Flood Dragon's aura and Golden Flood Dragon barrier. Now, this guy probably doesn't know what I'm going to do next. In that case, Void Rending Blow. With a thought, Long Yu finally activated his cold, killing intent. This was an opportunity to kill the third prince in one fell swoop. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. The light blue Duankong Sacred Spring had reached the level of resonance with Long Yu. Even though it was only at the initial level, it could already unleash a very powerful attack. In particular, the Space Severing Slash was a move that directly penetrated the opponent's body. It was definitely one of the most penetrative moves that Long Yu could use. Void Rending technique, that Void Rending attack that could penetrate an opponent's body. Long Void Rending technique was can only piercing rend space dragon rend attack. Piercing through space to attack an opponent's body was the only technique that Long Yu knew of. He had never seen it anywhere else. Ordinary techniques could pierce through space, but they couldn't appear inside another cultivator's body. They couldn't even appear next to them, because it would create a spatial conflict that prevented them from passing through. But the Duankong's sacred spring and void rending blow were different. They could directly pierce through the opponent's body and wreak havoc inside. Even though the third prince's body was extremely strong in his true form, he still couldn't completely withstand the terrifying attack of Long Yu's unbounded weapon. The light blue blades began to mince the third prince's body. Terrifying cutting and piercing power erupted, turning the third prince's body into a pile of mud. Even though the third prince was very strong and had a very strong body, the void-rending blow still caused unimaginable damage to him. And the damage was inside his body. None of the millions of spectators outside the arena knew that the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon had been severely injured. As for the third prince himself, his body was being minced by the Duankong's sacred spring. Naturally, he was in extreme pain. He roared in anger, and his eyes turned even redder than before. He had never suffered such a wound before. Even when he fought against the Abyss race and had his body blown up by the Abyss race's sneak attack, he hadn't suffered as much damage as he did now. After all, the Abyss race had heavily injured him, mainly on the surface of his body. His meridians, bones, and tendons had also suffered serious damage. But now, Long Yu had used the Duankong's sacred spring's void-rending blow to seriously injure the third prince. Most of the damage had been to his flesh and dantian. Long Yu didn't know much about the third prince's body structure, but this time he had hit the right spot and directly damaged the third prince's Yao core. If it wasn't for the third prince's strong strength and solid foundation, he would have lost his life. Unfortunately, it was still a little lacking. Long Yu's attack had already reached twice the power because of the resonance with the Duan Space Holy Spring battle weapon, but it still couldn't kill the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince in one move. It was a pity, but in this situation, it was almost impossible for the third prince to turn the tables. His Yao core was severely damaged and couldn't recover in a short period of time unless he took some healing pills. But would Long Yu give him time to take healing pills? Impossible. Almost at the next moment, the third prince's body exploded. He instantly woke up from the blood-red killing state and realized that he had been severely injured by Long Yu's scheme. He couldn't help but be filled with unparalleled anger. However, at this time, the third Golden Jiao Dragon Prince also knew that if this continued, he might really die in Long Yu's hands. Even the absolute beginning Golden Cave wasn't able to suppress Long Yu. This made him extremely shocked, and at the same time, a kind of fear began to grow in the depths of his heart. Now, he finally understood why Long Yu had been able to kill that Abyss being and the 6-star Imperial Monarch from the Soul Race. It was absolutely not a coincidence, and it was Long Yu's true strength. The Golden Jiao Dragon's aura has no effect on him. It seems that this human kid has some natural immunity to mental and aura-type attacks. He's very difficult to deal with. His physical body is also very strong, and the power of his divine text is also very powerful. It's definitely above level 10 in compatibility with the Shadow Attribute Divine Text. The third prince had almost calculated Long Yu's strength. After all, he was a genius who had seen Long Yu fight 3 times and even fought against Long Yu personally. His estimation of Long Yu's strength wasn't too far off. But what he didn't know was that this wasn't Long Yu's strongest strength, therefore. The third prince didn't admit defeat. He finally decided to stake it all on one throw and use his strongest move. Even if he had to expose some of his trump cards, he was going to completely kill this kid Long Yu. The third prince put away the absolute beginning golden cave, the awakened absolute beginning divine artifact. Then, he let out an angry roar and his figure flashed. Under the burst of golden light, the Golden Jiao Dragon's body turned into streaks of golden light and scattered across the arena. The light blue space, splitting blades were immediately exposed. The 2 light blue blades floating in the air had traces of golden blood on them. It was obvious that the blood came from the Golden Jiao Dragon's body. Clearly, the third prince had injured the Golden Jiao Dragon. This scene caused the expressions of countless spectators outside the arena to change again and again. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon was injured. Moreover, from the blood on the two light blue blades, the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon's injuries weren't light. Could this human kid, Mountain Ghost, really be able to suppress the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon? No one had ever heard of this guy called Mountain Ghost. How could he be compared to the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon? Didn't this mean that the young geniuses of a human race had suppressed the young geniuses of the demon race? Although this was only an exception, it was still difficult for the proud demon race to accept this fact. Of course, there were also many people who believed that Long Yu would win. These people were not only confident in Long Yu, they also disliked the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan. They had enmity with the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan. Now that they saw the third prince heavily injured, they cheered in their hearts, silently cheering for Long Yu. The third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon split into countless streaks of golden light in the arena. Even Long Yu couldn't tell which one was the third prince's true body. This was because these streaks of light were the third prince's true body. They were golden lines formed by his rapid flight. Every streak of light was his true body. It was just that his speed was too fast and left behind some afterimages. Therefore, all the streaks of light were real. However, even with Long Yu's balance control, he couldn't tell where the third prince's true body was at this moment. This speed is even faster than the Yuan race. It seems that the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon is really going to use his ultimate move. Long Yu immediately became vigilant. He wasn't particularly afraid of the Golden Flood Dragon third prince's ultimate move. After all, he had a lot of life-saving methods. However, he was still a little afraid of failing miserably. Therefore, no matter what, he maintained the strictest vigilance. Second grade, God Formation. Golden Light, Divine, Sword Formation. More and more golden streams of light condensed in the arena, and the Golden Flood Dragon third prince's figure had completely disappeared. Only more and more golden streams of light gradually turned into rays of sword light, forming a terrifyingly powerful sword formation in the arena. This sword formation enveloped the entire arena. No matter where Long Yu ran, he couldn't avoid it. He could only face this move head-on. The difference between a third and second grade God Formation is indeed huge. Even a 9 Abyss God Formation that I used couldn't have such power. Moreover, this third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon definitely hasn't reached the 10th level with his light attribute Divine Runes. Chapter 11:16. The third prince cast a second grade God Formation, the Golden Light Divine Sword Formation. Countless golden light, divine sword chi surged towards Long Yu like a blooming golden lotus surrounding Long Yu. The difference in power between a second grade God Formation and a third grade God Formation was too great. Long Yu immediately felt the threat of death when a second grade God Formation was cast. The Golden Light Divine Sword Formation seems to only have one wave of attack. In that case, I can use it to test how tough my physical body is. Long Yu's eyes were filled with incomparable calmness. He was very clear that his physical body was unable to completely block this attack from his opponent. However, this Golden Light Divine Sword Formation was also unable to completely destroy his physical body. Therefore, he wanted to give it a try and see where his current limit was. The reason why he made such a decision was because Long Yu had an extremely accurate perception of the Golden Light Divine Sword Formation through balance control. He already knew exactly how powerful it was. Next, he only needed to see how much his physical body could withstand in order to know exactly how strong his physical body had become. In the next moment, a layer of deathly aura surrounded Long Yu's body. Then, a layer of deathly armor covered his body. On the outermost layer, there was also a berserker barrier. This was the defensive technique that he had learned after comprehending the berserker celestial body to the small success level. 3 layers of defensive barriers, with death chi lingering on the outermost layer. This was already the strongest defensive method that Long Yu could use right now. However, When the golden sword chi of the golden light, divine sword formation attacked from all directions, it instantly dispersed the deathly aura on the outermost layer. Then, the countless golden light, divine sword formation pierced through Long Yu's deathly armor. In the next moment, it was completely obliterated, leaving only the last layer of the berserker celestial body. At this moment, the power of the entire golden light, divine sword formation had only been reduced by 10%. In the end, Long Yu's berserker barrier blocked another 30% of the golden light sword formation's power. The remaining 60% of the golden light sword formation landed on Long Yu's body. Countless golden sword auras pierced at Long Yu from all directions, easily leaving countless bloody holes on his body. Blood instantly sprayed out. Long Yu's powerful fleshly body was actually unable to withstand the golden light, divine sword formation, and he was finally stabbed. His skin and flesh were heavily injured, and even his meridians, tendons, and bones were unable to withstand the piercing of the countless golden light sword chi. Long Yu's entire body was instantly covered in blood. His body was sliced into several large pieces by the golden light, and then he was completely annihilated by the golden sword light. In the end, only an incomplete body was left standing in front of everyone. His entire body was heavily injured, and the injuries were fatal. This was because Long Yu's heart was directly pierced by the golden light, divine sword chi under the golden flood dragon third prince's attack. Then it exploded. Logically speaking, there was no chance for him to survive. In the end, I still couldn't withstand the second-grade divine formation. I still have other techniques that I haven't used. I didn't expect you to be killed just like that. How boring. The golden flood dragon third prince laughed loudly. This battle was definitely a very difficult battle for him. From the beginning, he was sent flying 3 times by Long Yu to the end. He was completely suppressed by Long Yu. He had lost all his face as the Golden Flood Dragon Demon tribe's crown prince. Now, he could finally hold his head high. He didn't expect that an opponent that he couldn't even defeat with a divine grade absolute beginning divine sword formation would be defeated by a second-grade divine formation. Of course, this was also because among the 3 moves of his divine grade absolute beginning divine sword formation, the Golden Flood Dragon Aura, the strongest move, was restrained by Long Yu's pure body. If his strongest divine grade absolute beginning divine sword formation was an offensive move, its power would definitely be much stronger than the second grade divine formation, the Golden Light divine sword formation. Seeing that Long Yu's body was directly smashed into a pile of mud by the Golden Light divine sword formation, the expressions of everyone in the gladiatorial arena changed slightly. "Sister, look at this!" In the spectator stands, Prince Blood Demon, Hong Jun, was dumbfounded. He stared at Long Yu's corpse in the arena with his eyes wide open in disbelief. "Don't worry." Red Oriole, on the other hand, frowned slightly and looked puzzled. She was very optimistic about Long Yu's strength and knew a little about Long Yu, much more than Hong Jun did. After all, she had fought against Long Yu before. Logically speaking, with Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's Golden Light divine sword formation, Long Yu should have been able to avoid being hit in the vital parts with his strength. However, the truth was that Long Yu did not avoid being hit in the vital parts and was directly hit by it, which led to his current state. In Red Oriole's heart, there was quite a bit of doubt. As for saying that Long Yu had been controlled and was unable to dodge, she found it even more unbelievable. Back then, when she had used her aura to suppress Long Yu had been able to barely move, let alone a mere third Golden Flood Dragon Prince. Because of this, Red Oriole came to a conclusion in her heart, and that was that Long Yu was not dead. However, in the current situation, Long Yu's physical body had been completely shattered, and he had become a corpse. If he was not dead, there was only one possibility left, and that was that Long Yu had a very powerful regenerative ability. This possibility was not impossible. According to Red Oriole's understanding, there was another clan near the Jiuyo clan called the Symbol Clan. The cultivators of this clan cultivated a secret martial technique called the undying purple blood. This secret martial technique could allow them to completely recover from fatal injuries. It was a very powerful technique. Could it be that Long Yu had also cultivated such a technique? Red Oriole's guess was rather close to the truth. However, she would never have guessed that Long Yu's regenerative ability was even more powerful than the Symbol clan's undying purple blood. At this moment, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was immersed in the excitement of defeating a powerful opponent and did not notice the aura of Long Yu's corpse in the arena. In fact, he could not even notice it even if he wanted to. This was because Long Yu was still conscious at this moment. His consciousness was immersed in his second heart, the Devil Dust Heart. Therefore, he was still quietly using balance control to block off the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's probing. As for his own body, he was relying on the Devil Dust Heart to gradually regenerate his physical body from the pile of corpses. Because he had already tried to completely disintegrate himself twice before, the speed of regeneration this time was much faster. In addition, in the past, when he took the initiative to disintegrate his body, he completely destroyed his fleshly body. Other than the Devil Dust Heart, there was nothing left. But now, there were still many parts of Long Yu's corpse that had not been destroyed. Therefore, the speed of regeneration and reconstruction was much faster than the previous two times. While Long Yu was relying on the Devil Dust Heart to regenerate, balance control was maintained, preventing the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince from sensing the abnormality. As for the millions of spectators outside the arena, they were even less able to sense it. At this moment, the entire arena was filled with cheers. This was because the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had defeated Long Yu, once again proving the strength of the Fey race's geniuses. They had suppressed the human race's geniuses. More importantly, many people could finally win quite a lot of money from this bet. With Long Yu's defeat, they would be able to profit a lot. Others felt that it was a pity. At the same time, they cursed the name Mountain Ghost and the Sirius Arena in their hearts. After all, it was the Sirius Arena that had publicized the news. They said that this human genius, Mountain Ghost, was very strong and could possibly defeat the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. In the end, they realized that they had been deceived. Now, the Third Prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race was still standing on the stage, while the human Mountain Ghost had become a corpse. Almost everyone believed that the duel that had been brewing for 3 days in the Sirius Arena had ended. They were all discussing the confrontation between Long Yu and the Third Prince, as well as the outcome of the duel. On the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan's side, over 1,000 golden-armored Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan's experts were beaming with joy. To be honest, when the Third Prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan was in a disadvantageous position, they were somewhat worried. But now, they discovered that their worries were completely unnecessary. What had their Third Prince ever disappointed them? Even if he couldn't perform well for the time being, he could still reverse the situation and completely kill his opponent when it came to a life-and-death situation. The thousands of powerful Fey cultivators of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race were brimming with a joyous atmosphere. It seems that there's no need to let the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Fey race take action. Since the Third Prince is fine, it's just a false alarm. It's all the fault of the Sirius Arena. They even said that the human Mountain Ghost is very strong. Haha, it's not that the Mountain Ghost is too weak, but our Third Prince is too strong. If it were another 4-star Emperor's Fey cultivator, I'm afraid he would have already been killed by the Mountain Ghost. As they discussed happily, Long Yu's regeneration was progressing at an even faster speed in the arena. The Devil Dust Heart was an extremely powerful martial arts secret technique, especially when combined with balance control. It could block the perception of others, allowing one to regenerate in a concealed state. If it wasn't for balance control, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince would have already discovered some clues and completely destroyed him, who had no ability to resist. It seems that the Geo Dragon Emperor's techniques are also extremely powerful. The Devil Dust Heart and balance control are simply two martial arts secret techniques that are a match made in heaven. Long Yu thought to himself. Next to the Devil Dust Heart, His physical body was rapidly regenerating. His first heart danced on Meridian's flesh and blood. Gradually, everything was rapidly regenerating. When the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince wanted to leave the arena and announce his victory, Long Yu's physical body had almost completely regenerated. Although it hadn't fully recovered, he had already regained the ability to use his techniques. On the surface, Long Yu was still just a corpse. But suddenly, a mysterious power of the stars rapidly darted out from Long Yu's corpse, forming 12 moon-shaped arches in the void. These 12 moon-shaped arches directly flew towards the back of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. Second grade God Array, 12-star palaces. Chapter 11:17. When Long Yu suddenly launched a sneak attack, no one expected it. After concealing his aura with balance control, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince couldn't detect the changes in Long Yu at all. The millions of spectators outside the arena could only see with their eyes, which made it even easier for them to be fooled. Long Yu casually used a simple concealment technique to prevent his subtle movements from being seen by the spectators. This was also to prevent the spectators from alerting the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince if they saw what was happening here. In short, Long Yu had successfully relied on the Devil Dust Heart to regenerate his fleshly body to a certain extent. He could continue to use his techniques. The next moment, he immediately used the 12-star palaces, a grade 2 God Array, to attack. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince naturally could not sense it. After all, the powerful aura of a grade 2 God Array was too obvious. Even if Long Yu deliberately concealed it with balance control, he still couldn't hide it from the other party. What? The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince suddenly felt a dangerous energy attack him. He was shocked and didn't know what was going on. He subconsciously surrounded his body with golden light and used the absolute beginning divine grade to use his second defensive technique. Unfortunately, the 12-star palaces wasn't an offensive technique at all. A moon-shaped arch directly descended and sucked the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince into it. The 12 moon-shaped arches were located in 12 different directions of the arena, with Long Yu in the center. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince was directly sucked into one of the moon-shaped arch doors and stepped into the sealed world. With the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's strength, he would need at least an hour to step out of the seal of the 12 astral palaces. It might even take longer. The 12 moon-shaped arches emitted the mysterious power of the stars. The appearance of the 12 moon-shaped arches shocked the millions of spectators in the arena. That kid isn't dead. More than half of the spectators instantly shouted this sentence. They only realized at the same time that Long Yu had stood up again. Although he still looked very miserable, his entire body was emitting a feeling of power. It was under such circumstances that Long Yu actually condensed the 12 moon-shaped arches and sucked the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince into them. He disappeared from the arena. How is this possible? The people of the Golden Flood Dragon tribe were dumbfounded. They had not expected Long Yu to still be alive. Most importantly, even they had not noticed it at all. They were outside the arena and were shielded by the protective barrier, so it was understandable that they didn't sense it. But how could the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince not sense it? This was completely out of their expectations and caused a huge change in their mentality. They were originally in a state of joy for the third Golden WYRM Prince's victory, but now, all of them returned to a state of worry. Now, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was actually trapped by Long Yu's special method. Most importantly, even such a powerful grade 2 God formation, the Golden Light Divine Sword formation, was unable to completely crush and kill the human mountain ghost. Just what kind of terrifying strength and methods did that mountain ghost possess? The third prince was in danger. Several high-level sovereign experts of the Golden Flood Dragon tribe tensed up and began to spread the news. If anything happened to the third Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, they had to stop the human mountain ghost. Of course, they couldn't do something as shameless as stopping the duel at the last minute. After all, there were millions of people watching the duel. The Golden Flood Dragon tribe wasn't that shameless. Most importantly, there were many old monsters and experts of the demon race among the millions of spectators. Even the Golden Flood Dragon tribe wouldn't dare to offend them. Moreover, how could the Serious Battle Arena be willing to stop the duel? The Serious Battle Arena belonged to the killer King Demon race. The Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince belonged to the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race. Although both sides belonged to the Iron Wall Galaxy, there would still be competition and conflict between them. To the Serious Battle Arena, they had already obtained a lot of benefits from the duel. If they could kill the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, they would definitely be willing. Moreover, there had never been a precedent of stopping a duel at the last minute. Although the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince's identity was precious, it was nothing in the eyes of the entire demon race. If he broke the precedent, he would probably be despised by the entire demon race. Ask the Great Ruler to come over. The situation might have changed. Under such circumstances, the high-level sovereigns of the Golden Flood Dragon tribe could only spread the news and ask the Great Ruler of the Golden Flood Dragon tribe to come over to preside over the duel. This matter was too important. However, no matter how fast they spread the news, they couldn't catch up to the speed at which Long Yu killed the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince. The 12-star palaces was a second-grade divine array and an extremely tyrannical control method. At this moment, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince was already in chaos in the 12 different spaces of the 12-star palaces. No matter how he exerted his strength, he couldn't break out of the space of the 12-star palaces. Unless his strength was much stronger than Long Yu's, he could only break out of the 12-star palaces by searching for other moon-shaped arches. At this time, Long Yu suddenly thought of a combo. It was something he had never thought of before. Now that he had a flash of inspiration, it seemed like it could make his strength even stronger. The 12-star palaces are the 12 illusory spaces that I created. If I use these illusory spaces to create an entrance to the 9 Nether Realm and make it appear as a moon-shaped arch door, wouldn't I be able to let people enter the 9 Nether Realm? Long Yu's eyes lit up. If his opponent entered the 9 Nether Realm, even if it was a great ruler, Long Yu would have the strength to contend against them. Although he wouldn't be their opponent in the end, he wouldn't be defeated immediately either. In the 9 Nether Realm, Long Yu was an invincible existence as the Lord of the 9 Nether Realm. Of course, it was impossible for Long Yu to use this combo to deal with a great ruler. Not to mention a great ruler, any expert in the Sovereign Secret Realm would be able to forcefully break out of his 12-star prison. It was impossible to lure them into the 9 Nether Realm. Right now, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince was merely a 4-star Emperor's demonic cultivator. Even if his martial talent was terrifying, he wouldn't be able to reach the strength of a Sovereign Secret Realm expert. At this moment, it was impossible for him to break out of the 12-star prison. It was also possible for him to enter the trap that Long Yu had set. Long Yu acted immediately. He directly condensed the 9 nether mark of the entrance to the 9 Nether Realm from his body and casually descended into one of the 12-star prison spaces. It turned into a moon-shaped arch door. When the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince arrived, he would directly step into it. In other words, he would enter the 9 Nether Realm. At that time, it would be a piece of cake for Long Yu to kill him. In the spectator's stand, Red Monarch and Red Oriole finally heaved a sigh of relief. Red Monarch said with a relaxed smile, "I knew this kid wouldn't let me down. This method, TSK, it's really amazing. It seems like this guy is really an unkillable cockroach." "You still dare to say that?" Red Oriole had a look of disdain on her face when she heard that. She looked at Red Monarch and said, "I don't know who was the one sighing and saying that Long Yu couldn't make it. Or was it me who had the foresight to know that he wouldn't die so easily? No matter what, he's still a genius that I like. You like him? Sister, have you fallen for him?" Red Monarch had a look of shock on his face. Red Oriole was speechless. She knocked his head and said, "So what if I like him? But it's not the kind of like you think. All right, I really want to follow him. He's one of Consort Yu's people. If I follow him, I'll be able to meet Consort Yu, right? I've heard about the 9 Nether Saintess Consort Yu for a long time. Ah, sister, you really want to follow him? It's over, it's over. Our blood demon princess actually fell in front of a human race genius. When Red Monarch heard that, he became even more shocked. The next moment, there was an extremely miserable scream from the spectator stands. After being taught a lesson by Red Oriole, it didn't take long for Hong Monarch to beg for mercy. He expressed that everything he said was nonsense and begged for his sister's forgiveness. What happened in the spectator stands didn't affect the battle between Long Yu and the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince in the arena. The group from the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race had already informed the great sovereign realm experts to come over. However, they wouldn't be able to rush over in a short period of time. Therefore, the situation in the martial arena was already within Long Yu's grasp. He's here. Finally, in one of the 12-star prison spaces, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Crown Prince quickly arrived and found the fake crescent-shaped arch. Without hesitation, he stepped into it. This moon-shaped arch door was created by Long Yu using the 9 Nether mark. Stepping into it was equivalent to stepping into the 9 Nether realm. It's done. Now, let's return to the 9 Nether realm. Long Yu's eyes lit up, and he immediately made a decision. Then, he entered the 12-star space and stepped into the moon-shaped arch door formed by the 9 Nether mark. He could sense that the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had already appeared in the 9 Nether realm. As for Long Yu himself, he quickly appeared in the void of the 9 Nether realm and found the Golden Flood Dragon that the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince had transformed into. Mountain Ghost. The Golden Flood Dragon quickly saw Long Yu and was pleasantly surprised. After searching for so long, he finally found his opponent. Now, let's see where he can run to. Of course, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince didn't know that he had fallen into Long Yu's trap. How could he have imagined that Long Yu, who was only a 4-star Emperor level, would have a small world? Under normal circumstances, this was simply impossible. Even with the identity of the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, he had never heard of such a thing. Therefore, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince, who wasn't prepared at all, was destined to be killed by Long Yu. And Long Yu, of course, didn't plan to hold back. Just now, the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince didn't hold back either. How could he let the Golden Flood Dragon Third Prince go? Die. Chapter 1118. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince obviously didn't know that he was already in Long Yu's pocket dimension. The Netherworld realm was Long Yu's pocket dimension. In this pocket dimension, Long Yu is a godlike existence. Therefore, when the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince saw Long Yu charging towards him, he revealed a murderous look. From his point of view, Long Yu had yet to recover from his serious injuries. Although he didn't know how he survived his Golden Light Divine Sword formation, he was confident that he could kill this human brat if they met again. Unfortunately, his way of thinking had caused his own death. Long Yu charged towards the Golden Jiao Dragon at high speed. At the same time, he continuously gathered the Netherworld realm's world energy around his body, increasing his strength to an unprecedented level. The world energy has increased my strength by 200 times. Let alone a 4-star Emperor like the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince. Even if a lesser ruler is in front of me, I will still be able to blast them into pieces. Long Yu was now very confident. He planned to kill the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince in one move. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince originally wanted to kill Long Yu directly. However, as Long Yu got closer, he felt a strong sense of unease. Moreover, the constantly increasing strength from Long Yu made him feel that something was wrong. This strength, it seems like the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's true form opened his eyes wide. At this moment, just the aura from Long Yu's body made him feel like he couldn't resist it at all. A trace of despair emerged from the depths of his heart. This was an emotion he had never felt before. Run. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince immediately made a decision. He trusted his intuition. Now that things had come to this, He couldn't fight Long Yu recklessly. He didn't think that Long Yu's powerful aura was fake. However, it was too late for him to escape. He was already in the Netherworld realm. How could it be easy to escape? Moreover, in the Netherworld realm, his speed couldn't be compared to Long Yu's. Godly formation, 9 Abyss. The third rank godly formation was used again. However, this time, the power of 9 Abyss was 200 times stronger than before. The 9 pitch-black cracks extended towards the third Golden Flood Dragon Prince's main body at an unparalleled speed. Not only was its strength 200 times stronger, but its speed was also 200 times faster. The distance between the two sides wasn't far, and the 9 pitch-black cracks instantly descended upon the third Golden Flood Dragon's main body. At this instant, a shrill and furious howl resounded from the Golden WRM's mouth. However, this howl didn't last for long before it vanished completely, because the third Golden WRM Prince wasn't even able to hold on for a single breath of time under the attack of the divine formation of 9 Abysses. The third Golden WRM Prince's body was directly reduced to dust and vanished completely from the world. The only thing that remained was a ball of golden light. It was the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's absolute beginning divine treasure, the absolute beginning golden cave, that was able to survive the attack of the 9 Abyss divine formation, which was 200 times more powerful. The Abyss Dragon Third Prince was born with the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince, and it had awakened 3 moves. It was useless to Long Yu. The awakening of the Abyss Dragon Divine Grade is similar to the awakening of Combat Weapon Affinity. Combat Weapon Affinity has to reach the highest level, the unparalleled level, in order for the combat weapon to develop its own consciousness. As for the Abyss Dragon Divine Grade, it has to be awakened to the 5th level. This is what I heard from Hong Jun. This Abyss Dragon Abyss doesn't have its own consciousness. If there's a chance, I can give it to someone else, thought Long Yu. As for himself, the Abyss Dragon Abyss wasn't of much use. After all, he had too many things to cultivate and comprehend. He didn't have the time to comprehend the Abyss Dragon Abyss. I finally killed him. It wasn't easy. It seems like some of the geniuses of the monster race are really strong. This is the first time I've met an opponent of the same realm as me who could fight me to this extent. Long Yu sighed in his heart. Although he had killed the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince, he had to admit that the Third Prince's strength far surpassed any opponent of the same realm as him. In the past, cultivators of the same realm could not withstand a single blow from Long Yu. But now, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince had the ability to defeat Long Yu. Although he didn't manage to do it, he did have the ability to do so. In the end, Long Yu won the battle. He used the combination of the 12-star prison and the world of Jiuyu to bring the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince into the world of Jiuyu, and then killed him. If it wasn't for that, Long Yu would have to spend a lot more effort to kill him. Although the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's physical strength was not as strong as his, he could still take a beating. Moreover, Long Yu had been heavily injured by the Golden Light Divine Sword formation once. His battle strength would definitely not be at his peak for a short period of time. If they were to fight again under normal circumstances, Long Yu might not be his match. In any case, Long Yu won in the end and killed the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince in the world of Jiuyu. Right now, the fighting arena outside is probably in chaos. I haven't fully recovered yet, so there's no need for me to go out so early. Little Sue, go out and take a look at the situation. Long Yu took out the Void Nether Dragon Blade and asked her to go to the fighting arena outside to observe the situation. If there were any changes, she was to inform Long Yu and let him leave the world of Jiuyu. As for this period of time, Long Yu had to recover more in the world of Jiuyu. He had been heavily injured by the Golden Light Divine Sword formation. Although the Devil Dust Heart could regenerate him, it would still take some time for him to fully recover. Long Yu didn't want to leave the world of Jiuyu in such a bad state. Next, he would definitely face a huge conflict. Long Yu had to maintain his best condition. Right now, the outside world probably doesn't know about the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince's death. However, this matter shouldn't be hidden for long. I'll drag it out for as long as I can. Long Yu thought to himself. Then, he continued to urge his second heart, the Devil Dust Heart, to completely regenerate his body and restore it to its original peak state. As the Void Nether Dragon Blade left the world of Jiuyu and went to the fighting arena outside, the situation outside was also transmitted to Long Yu's mind. In the martial arena, the 12 moon-shaped arches were still situated in 12 different positions, and all the spectators outside the martial arena seemed to be raising their heads in anticipation. They were anticipating whether it was Long Yu or the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince. One of them would appear on the martial arena. Although they didn't know where Long Yu and the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince had gone, they thought that they had gone to another space. It was very likely that they had gone to the illusory space created by the 12 moon-shaped arches, so they had temporarily disappeared. No one knew that the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince had been killed. On the side of the Golden Jiao Dragon monstrous race, thousands of golden-armored monstrous cultivators looked at the fighting arena with grave expressions. Even though they were very confident in the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince, they felt that something was wrong. Logically speaking, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince had used all the means he could and should have killed his opponent long ago. However, the human mountain ghost didn't die. Instead, he secretly launched a counterattack and dragged the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince into another space. Such a situation was completely unexpected to the Golden Jiao Dragon monstrous race. Therefore, many of them had already spread the news, asking the great sovereigns of the Golden Jiao Dragon monstrous race to come over. If anything unexpected happened, they would immediately take action. What do you guys think? Who do you think will win this duel? I hope it's the human mountain ghost. After all, I bet 10,000 demon coins on him. To be honest, I was shocked when he was blasted into pieces. The chances are too slim. The Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince is still in his peak condition. Even if that mountain ghost didn't die, he must have suffered heavy injuries and won't be able to fight against the Crown Prince. I also feel that Mountain Ghost of the human race has a higher chance of winning. Judging from his silent sneak attack just now, this human brat has a lot of hidden tricks up his sleeves. He might even be able to counterattack the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon demon race. Outside the arena, the emotions of the millions of spectators had been aroused. Everyone was looking forward to the outcome of the duel. As Long Yu killed the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince in the 9 Netherrealm, even the management of the Sirius Arena didn't know that the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince was dead. Therefore, no one came to announce the outcome of the duel. It's almost done. If I'm not wrong, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince should have been killed by Long Yu. On the other side of the spectator stand, Hong Jun narrowed his eyes and guessed. He knew that Long Yu had a small world, the 9 Netherrealm. Now that both Long Yu and the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince were not in the arena, Long Yu most likely used this opportunity to drag the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince into the 9 Netherrealm. If that was the case, then the outcome of the duel was obvious. More or less. Speaking of which, the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince is really courting death. He wanted to challenge Long Yu for no reason. Why is he courting death? Hong Ying was in a rather relaxed mood. In any case, when Long Yu didn't die and launched a surprise attack, she knew that the outcome of the duel was almost decided. It was just a matter of time. Although Long Yu and the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince were similar in strength, there was still a gap between their combat talents. This led to Long Yu setting up a trap for the Third Prince, causing the Third Prince, who originally had the upper hand, to fall to the bottom of the abyss. Some people just like to court death. Hong Jun chuckled. He was naturally unhappy with the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince. Speaking of which, it's about time for our cousin to arrive. Once the outcome of the duel is out, the real show will begin. When Hong Ying heard this, the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. She seemed to be looking forward to it. Chapter 1119. As time went by, Neither Long Yu nor the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince appeared in the arena. This made the spectators in the serious arena a little anxious. Just what kind of level had this duel reached? As Long Yu and the Golden Jiao Dragon Third Prince weren't fighting in the arena, but in the illusory space, even the great ruler-level existences couldn't see what was happening in the arena. This situation continued until 2 hours later. A group of golden-armored demon cultivators with majestic auras directly barged in from outside the Skywolf battle arena. Each and every one of them looked menacing, and the person in the lead was wearing golden armor with a golden divine dragon embroidered on it. As soon as this group of people appeared, the entire arena was in an uproar. It's the chief steward of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan, the third prince's uncle. He's one of the strongest great rulers in the entire Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan. I didn't expect the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan to send their chief steward, but it makes sense. After all, this duel concerns the third prince's life. If he dies in the duel, the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan won't let the human mountain ghost go. There are 4 great ruler-level existences in this group of people. They're really powerful. It seems that they're concerned about the third prince's safety. What's the use? If the outcome of the duel has already been decided, these Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan experts won't be able to change the outcome even if they rush over. At most, they can avenge the third prince. It's a pity that the human mountain ghost is such a powerful genius. Don't you think it's too early to say that? Maybe the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan will kill the human boy in the duel. After all, both sides haven't appeared for so long. The situation of the duel might be beyond our expectations. Countless people began to discuss. Naturally, the topic of discussion revolved around the group of Golden Flood Dragon Demon Races experts that had barged into the serious battle arena. Among them were 4 great Sovereign Realm experts. Only 4 of them could rush over in such a short time. Of course, even though there were only 4 of them, they felt that they didn't need many people to deal with this matter. After all, the human kid that was fighting the third prince was only a 4-star Imperial Monarch, so what could he do? They were capable of crushing any 4th-star Imperial Monarch with a single finger. What they were mainly wary of was the prince and princess of the Blood Demon clan. However bold they were, they would never attack the 2 of them. Therefore, if they wanted to avenge the third prince, they could only separate the 2 of them. Otherwise, if they were to interfere, it would make things very difficult for the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Races experts. Because of this, the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan experts immediately rushed towards Hong Jun and Red Oriole after entering the Skywolf arena. The 4 great sovereigns walked towards Hong Jun and Red Oriole. As for the other high sovereigns, intermediate sovereigns, and other powerhouses, they all scattered around the Celestial Wolf dueling arena and set up a spatial barrier. Once they confirmed that the third prince had met with an accident, they would never let the human boy escape. In fact, enough time had passed, and they didn't dare to wait any longer. If they had arrived a moment earlier, they might have been able to save the third prince's life. No matter what, this duel had lost its meaning. The Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan experts were all out. No matter the outcome of the duel, Long Yu would definitely die. The key was whether the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan could save the third prince. It's about time. This duel should be over. Kill the King Fei. Why don't you release the protective barrier of the arena? Among the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan, the leader was a tall and sturdy housekeeper. He was wearing golden armor, and the golden divine dragon pattern was extremely conspicuous. He was the only one with a golden divine dragon tattoo on his body. The others only had golden flood dragon tattoos. The Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan was a Jiao demon after all. It was a race that wanted to become a divine dragon. The butler had a golden divine dragon tattoo on his body. It was obvious that he had a high status in the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan. As he walked toward Hong Jun and Red Oriole, he roared at the sky. His voice spread throughout the entire Sirius arena. It was obvious that the person in charge of the Sirius arena would be shaken out. After all, that person was the head butler of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous clan. His strength and status were ranked at the top of the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous Clan. If he were to be placed in the Killing King Monstrous Clan, he would definitely be above the master of a mere martial arena. Although the serious arena was the property of the King Fei clan, the person in charge had to welcome him with a smile. The two higher-level sovereigns stood up from the spectator stands and cupped their fists towards the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race's chief steward with a smile. Immediately after, they ordered people to close the formation and remove the protective barrier at the edge of the arena. For the people of the King Slayer Demon clan, there was no need to stop the duel. All they needed to do now was to watch a good show. The conflict between the Blood Demon clan and the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan was the real highlight of today's duel. What surprised the King Fei clan was that Long Yu was able to unleash such a terrifying power that even the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan was in a life-or-death crisis. Regardless of whether the third prince of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan died or not, this would be a huge blow to the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan as a whole. That was because the butler of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan had stopped the duel in advance. No matter how one looked at it, it was against the rules. Although the people of the King Fei clan didn't stop the duel, it would definitely be a huge blow to the reputation of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan. However, for the sake of the third prince's life, they couldn't care less. Before the butler of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan arrived, the King Fei clan definitely wouldn't open the arena. Now that the butler was here, it was meaningless for them to persist. It was time to witness the result of the duel. If both sides are fine, then this duel will be considered a draw. One of the commanders of the Sky Wolf Battle Arena chuckled as he watched the defensive barrier around the arena being removed. He had an inexplicable smile on his face. A good show was about to begin. Not good. Right at this moment, Hong Jun and Red Oriole finally realized that the situation was bad. The reason for that was because the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous clan's head butler had arrived before them. As for the two of them, they were actually blocked by the Golden Flood Dragon Monstrous clan's head butler and the other three overlords. If they wanted to attack Long Yu during this period, Long Yu wouldn't be able to resist and would almost certainly die. You only realize now that something's wrong? The butler of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan revealed a faintly discernible smile. After all, the older the ginger, the spicier it was. He had led the great rulers straight towards Hong Jun and Red Oriole. So how could he not have an ulterior motive? In fact, he didn't even want to speak any nonsense. Today, the human brat called Mountain Ghost must die. Unknowingly, the butler of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan had led 3 great rulers, a total of 4 people, to block Hong Jun and Red Oriole's path to the battle arena to save Long Yu. As the defensive barrier around the battle arena was slowly removed, the 12 moon-shaped arches on the battle arena gradually dissipated. Then, Long Yu's figure gradually appeared in the center of the battle arena. At this moment, he had completely recovered to his peak state, and there wasn't a single wound on his body. The regenerative ability of the Devil Dust Heart made it seem as though he hadn't suffered any serious injuries. However, right now, Long Yu's expression wasn't too good, because as soon as he came out from the Nine Nether Realm, he discovered that the entire battle arena was surrounded by the experts of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast clan. There were more than 100 experts clad in golden armor surrounding the battle arena, and all of them were in the Sovereign Secret Realm. Any one of them could completely crush Long Yu. Without the help of others, Long Yu wouldn't be able to leave this place alive. Therefore, right now, Long Yu's hopes were on Hong Jun and Red Oriole. Of course, even if the two of them gave up on him in the end, he could still throw the 9 nether prison steel and risk his life. Even if he died, he could drag millions of people down with him. If the 9 nether prison steel exploded in the serious battle arena, no one in the entire battle arena would be able to survive, not even great rulers. In that case, it would be difficult for Long Yu to escape. Therefore, unless it was absolutely necessary, he wouldn't use the 9 nether prison steel. Mountain Ghost has appeared. That human brat isn't injured at all. The third prince didn't come out. Could he have been killed by that brat? The instant Long Yu's silhouette appeared, the entire Heavenly Wolf battle arena burst into an uproar. No one had imagined that the result of this battle would be like this. This kid from the human race had actually won and killed the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race on the battle arena. Kill. Seeing this scene, the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast Clan's chief steward's eyes widened in anger. Although the third prince wasn't his son, the chief steward doted on the third prince. The third prince's cultivation talent was tyrannical. Who would have thought that the third prince would die on the King Killer Star, in the hands of a mere 4-star emperor? This made the chief steward of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast Clan unable to suppress the anger in his heart. With a furious roar, the sovereign realm experts of the Golden Jiao Dragon Beast Clan that had surrounded the entire serious battle arena charged towards Long Yu. The Golden Jiao Dragon Beast Clan is really shameless. How dare you bully a junior in front of millions of people? I really admire you, ha! An old man's voice suddenly rang out from the spectator's stands. Following that, a gray-robed figure rushed out. Although the gray-robed figure wasn't eye-catching, it was extremely imposing. In an instant, he blocked the path of over 30 Golden Jiao Dragon Beast Clan experts that were charging towards Long Yu. Chapter 1120. When the old man appeared, not only Long Yu, but everyone else in the arena was shocked. Who was this sovereign realm old man? He actually stood up for Long Yu. Long Yu didn't expect that there would be someone who would stand up for him and help him block those Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's experts. Could it be because that old man was a human expert? According to this logic, the old man's actions were quite normal. After all, even though the human race and the demonic beast race were allies, they were still two different races. Now that the Golden Flood Dragon race wanted to bully the rising star of the human race in the demonic beast race's territory as a senior of the human race, it was somewhat unreasonable for the old man to not interfere. However, since the old man had the guts to go against the Golden Flood Dragon race, his background was definitely not small. Furthermore, he definitely had terrifying strength. Very soon, both of these points were confirmed. It's actually Grandmaster Bai Yun. It's Grandmaster Bai Yun from the human race's White Cloud Galaxy. Grandmaster Bai Yun? Why is he here? This is going to be fun. With Grandmaster Bai Yun here, it won't be easy for the Golden Flood Dragon race to deal with the human race's genius, Mountain Ghost. Isn't that so? Grandmaster Bai Yun is rumored to be the existence closest to the demigod realm in the White Cloud clan. To be able to meet such an existence, this trip is truly worth it. As it turned out, this old man was known as Grandmaster Bai Yun. He came from the White Cloud Galaxy, and he was the existence closest to the demigod realm in the entire White Cloud Galaxy. When these discussions reached Long Yu's ears, he knew that this old man had a high status and was extremely strong. It was no wonder he dared to stand up for him. The moment Grandmaster Bai Yun made a move, he immediately blocked the dozens of people attacking Long Yu. With a wave of his hand, a dazzling white light burst out, and the dozens of Golden Flood Dragon race's sovereign secret realm experts were pushed back. But at this time, there were dozens of Golden Flood Dragon clan powerhouses on the other side, attacking Long Yu. At this time, a red figure suddenly appeared beside Long Yu, followed by a burst of red light, instantly condensing into a dense blood mist. Long Yu was very familiar with this dense blood mist, because it was precisely this dense blood mist that had condensed into a blood-red sword light, which had chopped off one of his arms. After that, he suddenly realized that the Devil Dust Heart's regenerative ability was able to eliminate all the remaining medicinal effects in his body. Therefore, the one standing in front of Long Yu and blocking the dozens of experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan was none other than Red Oriole, the Blood Demon Princess from the Blood Demon Clan. Red Oriole's figure flickered erratically. The dense, blood-colored mist condensed into countless sword lights that shot out explosively, repelling the dozens of Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race experts. If those Golden Flood Dragon monstrous beasts were to forcibly attack them, they would definitely be chopped into pieces by these blood-red sword lights. Therefore, they had no choice but to retreat. At this point, all the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race experts who wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill Long Yu were all repelled. Seeing this situation, Long Yu couldn't help but turn around and look at the spectator stands. In the spectator stands, Red Monarch and Red Oriole were still blocked by the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward. If that was the case, who exactly was this beautiful woman who looked exactly like Red Oriole? What's going on? Even the face of the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward sank. I've never heard that the Blood Demon Princess has a twin sister. In other words, the one I'm blocking right now is just... That's right, it's just an illusion. In front of him, Red Oriole, who was originally standing with Red Monarch, suddenly smiled intoxicatedly. Then, she actually instantly turned into a bloody mist, disappearing without a trace. Although Red Oriole's cultivation was only at the Sovereign Realm, her true strength was already comparable to ordinary Sovereign Realm experts. In some aspects, she was even superior. For example, right now, no one, including the 3 Sovereign Realm experts brought by the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward, realized that Red Oriole's figure was just an illusion. This caused them to lose the initiative. In the arena, Long Yu stood in the center of the arena with Red Oriole on his left and Grandmaster Baiyun on his right. They were helping Long Yu block all the experts from the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race. The group of Sovereign Realm experts from the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race, who were clad in golden armor, felt extremely sullen in their hearts. It was obvious that the human brat had appeared, but the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's third prince was nowhere to be seen. Most likely, he had already been killed by the human brat. An important member of their race had been killed, and they were unable to avenge him. This kind of feeling made them feel extremely helpless. Forget about Grandmaster Baiyun. Even Red Oriole, who had appeared out of nowhere, wasn't an easy target to break through. It was basically impossible for Red Oriole to bypass the 2 of them and kill Long Yu. Grandmaster Baiyun, dare I ask, why are you protecting this brat? The Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward, who was also the third prince's uncle, had a gloomy expression on his face. However, he didn't dare to show his anger towards Grandmaster Baiyun. If a fight really broke out, the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race wouldn't even be enough to fill the gaps between Grandmaster Baiyun's teeth. Even though Grandmaster Baiyun was a sovereign, and his chief steward was also a sovereign, the difference in strength between them was like the difference between heaven and earth. Grandmaster Baiyun was rumored to be in existence close to the demigod realm. Even though no one knew why Grandmaster Baiyun would appear here, the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward definitely wouldn't dare to offend him. This old man was just passing by. I saw a good seedling, and I wanted to groom him. Grandmaster Baiyun's posture was magnanimous, and his temperament was elegant. He displayed the demeanor of a grandmaster as he spoke to the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward in an indifferent tone. This old man has seen the entire battle from start to finish. I don't know why all of you from the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race are so shameless as to make a move on a junior. The moment those words left his mouth, everyone present was shocked. They saw a good seedling and wanted to groom him? That was too much. Everyone had heard rumors about Grandmaster Baiyun. It was said that ever since his first disciple died in an accident, Grandmaster Baiyun had never accepted another disciple. Moreover, he didn't show any intention of accepting a disciple. But now, this Grandmaster Baiyun actually had the intention of accepting a disciple after meeting Shan Gui by chance. Didn't this mean that Shan Gui's martial talent had reached an inconceivable level? Long Yu's brows furrowed slightly. He was very grateful towards this Grandmaster Baiyun who appeared out of nowhere. After all, this Grandmaster Baiyun had helped him out of a difficult situation by repelling dozens of Sovereign Realm experts of the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race. But now, it seemed like Grandmaster Baiyun had the intention of accepting Long Yu as a disciple. This made Long Yu feel a little puzzled. When he fought with the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race, they were separated by a protective barrier. How did this Grandmaster Baiyun see through his martial talent? Could it be that this old man is close to entering the demigod realm, and the protective barrier can no longer block his probing? Long Yu pondered inwardly, and he felt that it was quite possible. After all, the person who built this barrier was probably an ordinary sovereign realm expert. Of course, it wouldn't be able to block the probing of experts with higher cultivation. No matter what, Long Yu's guesses were useless. He could only wait and see. After hearing Grandmaster Bai Yun's words, the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward had a bad premonition. If Grandmaster Bai Yun was determined to protect this human brat called Shan Gui, then they definitely wouldn't be able to avenge the third prince. Of course, they weren't sure about the third prince's situation. They had to figure it out first. Grandmaster Bai Yun, you know the third prince's status in our race. Even if he dies in battle, he must die honorably. I don't want to make things difficult for this little brother. As long as he hands over the third prince's corpse, we will let him go. The Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward said respectfully to Grandmaster Bai Yun. Although his words were respectful, there was still a problem with his words. Even in a battle of the transcendent realm, it was very difficult to leave behind a corpse after a battle of life and death. Not to mention, Long Yu and the third prince were both 4-star Emperor realm experts. In a battle of life and death, killing one's opponent was the same as turning them into ashes. It was impossible to leave behind a corpse. Therefore, the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward was clearly making things difficult for Grandmaster Bai Yun. His words weren't too bad, and it was a good reason for him to cause trouble for Long Yu. Grandmaster Bai Yun, the third prince, and Shan Gui's strength are about the same. I heard that the third prince shattered Shan Gui's body and heavily injured him, but he let him go. After all, it was just a normal battle, not a battle of life and death. However, Shan Gui didn't let our third prince go. He launched a sneak attack and tried to kill him. The more the Golden Flood Dragon monstrous race's chief steward spoke, the more agitated he became. It didn't sound like there was anything wrong with his words. Long Yu's heart skipped a beat. What would Grandmaster Bai Yun say after hearing this? He looked towards Master Bai Yun, only to see that the carefree old man's figure didn't move at all. Even his calm expression didn't change in the slightest. He only said indifferently, "Why should I care so much about you? In any case, it's not okay for you to target my disciple like this." When these words came out, the millions of people in the Heavenly Wolf Coliseum all wanted to kneel before Grandmaster Bai Yun. Shan Gui didn't say a word from beginning to end, but Grandmaster Bai Yun wanted to protect him and even claimed that Shan Gui was his disciple. What was he trying to do? Why didn't he ask for my opinion? Long Yu was also stunned. Wasn't this old man too self-centered? However, Long Yu didn't want this kind of situation. Master, he now had the inheritance of the Juyo Dragon Emperor, the Netherworld Realm, and the 9 Hells Prison Steel. Even if Grandmaster Bai Yun was in existence closest to the demigod realm, he still hadn't stepped into the demigod realm. There was still a huge gap between him and the Juyo Dragon Emperor. Chapter 1121. At this time, Hong Ying had already floated to Long Yu's side. "Brother Long, did you kill the third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan?" Hong Ying asked with a smile. "Yes." Long Yu nodded. There was no need to hide this matter. No matter what, the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan wanted to kill him. So what difference did it make if the third prince died or not? Even if the third prince didn't die, the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan would not let him go. Amazing. The third prince was one of the most talented martial artists in the younger generation of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan, but you killed him just like that. Amazing. Hong Ying's eyes lit up. She was not so sure at first. After all, it was possible that Long Yu had only trapped the third prince somewhere. But now that it came from Long Yu's mouth, it could not be false. It was quite difficult. But fortunately, I am a 4-star emperor like him. Otherwise, it would be difficult to deal with him. Long Yu said emotionally, "Forget it. Even if the third prince was a 5-star emperor or a 6-star emperor, I believe you won't lose. After all, you have your own trump card." Red Oriole moved closer to Long Yu. She blew out a breath of air as she smiled. With her by Long Yu's side, those experts from the Golden Flood Dragon demon race no longer dared to act against Long Yu. Not to mention whether they could break through Hong Ying's obstruction. Even if they could, they would not be able to bear the consequences if they hurt Hong Ying. This was the Blood Demon Princess. The Blood Demon Clan was a demon clan that was much stronger than the Golden Flood Dragon demon clan. How about it, little brother? Why don't you acknowledge me as your master? Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't be able to leave here alive today. In the distance, the white-robed old man, Master Bai Yun, looked at Long Yu and asked with narrowed eyes. This junior doesn't know senior's identity. How can I acknowledge you as my master? Long Yu shook his head. Instead, he asked the old man, causing many people to break into a cold sweat for him. He didn't know his identity? Are you kidding me? The Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's chief steward has already said that this old man is Grandmaster Bai Yun. Could it be that this kid has never heard of Master Bai Yun's name? This was an extremely rare situation. After all, even the cultivators in the monster domain had heard of Master Bai Yun. No one dared to believe that a human like Hill Ghost didn't know of Master Bai Yun. In fact, Long Yu just didn't want to be apprenticed to. Firstly, it wasn't necessary. Secondly, it would be troublesome. Right now, he had made up his mind to refuse to acknowledge Master Shuel Luo as his master. All he needed to do was stall for time until Shuel Luo, Emperor of the Blood Demon Clan, arrived. Then, even without the help of Master Bai Yun, he would be fine. Yo! Grandmaster Bai Yun was also quite surprised by Long Yu's words. He solemnly replied, "Listen carefully. I come from the Bai Yun clan of the human race. I happened to be passing by and saw that your aptitude is not bad. I would like to accept you as my personal disciple. Are you willing to accept?" He had already made things so clear. If Long Yu still didn't agree, Grandmaster Bai Yun would probably lose face. Moreover, there were many human experts present in the Heavenly Wolf Arena. At this moment, they were all envious and jealous of Long Yu. Grandmaster Bai Yun had personally accepted him as a disciple. Could it be that this kid's talent was really that amazing? Even Red Oriole, who was beside Long Yu, was holding her chin in her hands. Her beautiful eyes were filled with anticipation as she looked at Long Yu. Even she had heard of Grandmaster Bai Yun's name. If Long Yu could be apprenticed to Grandmaster Bai Yun, it would be a good thing. Of course, in Red Oriole's eyes, Grandmaster Bai Yun's status was still incomparable to Consort Yu's. After all, how old was Saintess Consort Yu? However, she was already advancing towards the demigod realm. It was rumored that Consort Yu could already suppress the majority of great sovereigns. She was one of the greatest geniuses to appear in the human domain in the last 10 years. In the end, Grandmaster Bai Yun was too old. Of course, his status in the human domain was definitely higher than Consort Yu's. After all, he was old, and his network could be said to cover the entire human race. If Long Yu was apprenticed to Grandmaster Bai Yun, he would be able to get to know many other geniuses of the human race. However, this wasn't of much use to Long Yu. Red Oriole's beautiful eyes flashed with anticipation. She wanted to see how Long Yu would choose under these circumstances. If it was anyone else, they would have already agreed without hesitation. However, Long Yu wasn't so sure. Senior only wants to accept me as a disciple because of my exceptional aptitude and aptitude. Long Yu pretended to be flabbergasted. This question caused Grandmaster Bai Yun's eyes to light up. He stroked his snow-white beard and chuckled. There are other reasons. However, you wouldn't want me to say it in front of everyone. These words caused Long Yu's heart to tremble. This Grandmaster Bai Yun really did have other motives. Originally, Long Yu had only asked casually in order to stall for time. He didn't expect to receive such an answer. To think that I thought it was because of my exceptional aptitude in the martial Tao. So there's another reason. Long Yu smiled bitterly. In his heart, he constantly pondered. Just what was the reason that made Grandmaster Bai Yun want to accept him as a disciple? Exceptional aptitude in the martial Tao shouldn't be possible. Even if there was, it would only be a small part of the reason. The biggest reason was probably that Grandmaster Bai Yun had seen through some secret on his body. He saw through my true identity as Long Yu. Or did he sense the Nine Hells prison tablet in my Nine Hells realm? Long Yu continuously guessed, but in the end, he couldn't make up his mind. He couldn't be sure which point Grandmaster Bai Yun was referring to. Perhaps it was both. Either way, Long Yu didn't want Grandmaster Bai Yun to say these 2 points in front of everyone. You don't have to be like this. Grandmaster Bai Yun saw that Long Yu seemed to be a little defeated and immediately smiled. Your martial talent is indeed second to none among the younger generation I've seen. Of course, if it was just this, I wouldn't want to accept you as my disciple. So, can you make your decision now? Hearing this, Long Yu immediately thought about it and didn't reply for the time being. Everyone in the arena was waiting for Long Yu's reply. If Long Yu agreed to become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple, then there wouldn't be a good show to watch. Logically speaking, everyone thought that Long Yu would definitely become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple. However, everyone still hoped that Long Yu wouldn't become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple. If that was the case, then they would still have a good show to watch. The Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan definitely wouldn't let this go. Also, if Long Yu didn't become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple, then Grandmaster Bai Yun would lose face and probably wouldn't protect Long Yu anymore. At this moment, countless people were waiting for Long Yu's reply. At the same time, they were guessing what was the other reason Grandmaster Bai Yun said he wanted to accept Long Yu as his disciple. There were many possibilities for this reason, enough to make people's imagination run wild. The most likely reason was the true identity of this mountain ghost. However, no matter how these people guessed, they couldn't guess Long Yu's true identity. Long Yu pondered in the arena and didn't reply for a while. Everyone was looking at him, and the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan were staring at him. If he didn't agree to become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple, then these experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan would immediately attack Long Yu. Even if Red Oriole was in front of them, they would still be able to think of a way to avoid her. Long Yu continued to ponder. He looked at Red Oriole, then looked at Grandmaster Bai Yun, and then looked at the experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon clan. Just when everyone thought he was about to give an answer, he once again lowered his head and continued to ponder. This situation almost made the millions of people in the arena vomit blood. They wanted to slap Long Yu to death. This kid really deserved to be beaten to the extreme, whether he wanted to become Grandmaster Bai Yun's disciple or not, and he even dilly-dallied. Moreover, it was Grandmaster Bai Yun who took the initiative to accept him as his disciple. About this, I have a question. After pondering for a long time, Long Yu raised his head and looked at Grandmaster Bai Yun. Senior, if I become your disciple, will I have to follow you back to the human race's white cloud galaxy? Of course. Grandmaster Bai Yun nodded without hesitation. Looking at Long Yu, he suddenly said, "Could it be that you have other matters to attend to here? If that's the case, this old man won't forcefully take you away. I can even accompany you until you finish your business here. If that's the case, I'm afraid it won't be too convenient." Long Yu said with some difficulty. "It's fine, this old man has plenty of time." Grandmaster Bai Yun waved his hand. He was currently a wild crane with no need to stay in White Cloud Galaxy, so he could do whatever he wanted. However, this made Long Yu a little puzzled. It didn't seem like delaying for time was going to be easy. "Why isn't your cousin here yet?" Long Yu nudged Red Oriole, who was beside him, and whispered to her. Red Oriole was a little surprised when she heard Huang Xiaolong's question. She replied in a low voice, "I don't know, but he should be here soon. The time-space transmission array is beside the Heavenly Wolf Battle Arena, so he should be here soon." Only then did Red Oriole understand what Long Yu was thinking. It seemed like this kid didn't want to take her as his master. Red Oriole didn't know why Long Yu didn't want to take her as his master, but she could see through his thoughts. She also knew that Long Yu wanted to wait for her and Red Monarch's cousin, Shualuo, to arrive before rejecting Grandmaster Bai Yun. That way, the Golden Flood Dragon race's demonic beast cultivators wouldn't be able to make a move on Long Yu. How smart! Red Oriole's evaluation of Long Yu rose by another level, but she didn't understand why Long Yu didn't want to take Grandmaster Bai Yun as his master and return to White Cloud Galaxy with him. Logically speaking, if Huang Xiaolong took Grandmaster Bai Yun as his master, he wouldn't lack cultivation resources, and he would be able to obtain the best cultivation environment. At the very least, he would be able to step into the sovereign realm. But in Long Yu's heart, there was still a little conflict. Right now, he wasn't just afraid of trouble, but also because Grandmaster Bai Yun had other motives. He didn't dare to trust him so easily, and he didn't know what Grandmaster Bai Yun had seen through him. In any case, Long Yu wouldn't dare to leave with him so easily. Smelly brat. So you were just toying with this old man, haha. Grandmaster Bai Yun suddenly laughed heartily. Since that's the case, this old man won't interfere in this matter. You can settle your grudges as you wish. Chapter 1122. Of course, Long Yu knew that the conversation between him and Red Oriole had been overheard by Master Bai Yun. Even though he was very close to Red Oriole, and they were transmitting their voices, Master Bai Yun's martial arts realm far surpassed theirs. At Master Bai Yun's age, he was naturally able to discern Long Yu's true intentions from the two of them. When Master Bai Yun's words rang out, it wasn't just Long Yu's expression that changed. Even Red Oriole's expression changed. Truthfully speaking, she had never imagined that Master Bai Yun would be able to hear their voice transmission. I've already been very careful to block out voice transmissions. I didn't expect. Master Bai Yun is even more powerful than I imagined. Red Oriole's beautiful eyes revealed a hint of vigilance. She knew that if Master Bai Yun didn't interfere in this matter, she and Long Yu would be surrounded by the Golden Flood Dragon Tribe's powerhouses. As long as Master Bai Yun didn't interfere, the powerhouses of the Golden Flood Dragon Tribe wouldn't let Long Yu go. This was 100% certain, so Red Oriole immediately prepared herself. Sure enough, when Master Bai Yun said those words and retreated to the side, the powerhouses of the Golden Flood Dragon Tribe were overjoyed. Although they didn't know what Long Yu had done to make Master Bai Yun realize that he was toying with him, it was enough for Master Bai Yun to say those words. If Master Bai Yun didn't interfere, who else would have the strength to save Long Yu? No one. Even Red Oriole and the Red Monarch would only be able to resist for a moment. Although their statuses were respected and the Golden Flood Dragon Tribe wouldn't dare to touch them, it wouldn't be too much of a problem for them to bypass them and deal with Long Yu. In particular, the Golden Flood Dragon Tribe's chief steward was an extremely powerful existence. Even if Red Oriole and the Red Monarch stood in front of Long Yu, they would still be able to capture Long Yu. As Master Bai Yun retreated to the side, the situation in the serious battle arena became tense once again. As the host of the Celestial Wolf Coliseum, the Killer King Monster Clan naturally wouldn't say anything. They were happy to see this scene unfold. After all, when the Sandpiper and Clam fight, the fisherman benefits. The Killer King Monster Clan had already anticipated this situation. It was just that Master Bai Yun had appeared out of nowhere. Now that Master Bai Yun didn't care, everything was going according to the Slayer King's plan. The third prince of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan seemed to have been slaughtered by the human brat, Mountain Ghost. The Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan had suffered a great loss. It would be great if they could drag the Blood Demon Clan down with them. As the host of the Heaven Wolf Arena, quite a few experts of the Killer King Demon Clan were secretly discussing whether or not they should take action in secret to create an even greater conflict between the Gold Flood Dragon Demon Clan and the Blood Demon Clan. They discussed for a while, but came to no conclusion. In the end, they decided to wait and see. After all, they were hiding in the dark and did not make a move. In the end, it had nothing to do with them. However, once they made a move, it was very likely that it would lead to more serious consequences. They would be inviting trouble to themselves, which was a situation they did not want to see, so they decided not to make a move for the time being. The situation in the arena was already very tense. There was no need for them to add fuel to the fire. It was already burning. In the arena, Long Yu did not expect such a situation. He wanted to continue arguing with Master Bai Yun until the experts of the Blood Demon Clan arrived, and everything would be settled. But now, Master Bai Yun actually retreated. In the Heaven Wolf Arena, everyone was looking forward to it. They didn't care about Long Yu's life or anything. They just wanted to watch a good show. Thank you, Master Bai Yun. The Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's chief steward cupped his fists at Master Bai Yun. Then, he smiled and looked at Long Yu in the arena. Look, you are seeking your own death. There is a path to heaven, but you don't want to take it. You want to go to hell. You can't blame anyone else, right? Come over if you have the guts. Stop babbling nonsense. Are you a man or not? Before long you could speak, Red Oriole, who was beside him, coldly snorted. Her words directly made the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's chief steward choke. Are you a man or not? Being looked down upon by anyone like this would have a huge impact on one's reputation, let alone a great beauty like Red Oriole. The Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's chief steward was immediately enraged. He shouted, I can't be bothered to talk to you. Mountain Ghost, die. In the next moment, over 100 experts of the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan charged at Long Yu again. However, because Red Oriole was by Long Yu's side, they did not launch any attacks. They merely approached and prepared to make a move. As for the Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan's chief steward and the other 3 Sovereign Realm experts, they left Red Monarch and rushed towards Red Oriole. After all, Red Monarch was only a lower Sovereign Realm expert. Compared to Red Oriole, his combat strength was on a completely different level. As long as Red Oriole was restrained, the entire situation would be under control. As for Red Monarch, they directly sent 10 Middle Sovereign Realm experts to keep an eye on him. This was enough to restrict his movements. Under such circumstances, Red Monarch could only watch from the sidelines. Sister, you can do it. Red Monarch chuckled. He did not look nervous at all. This was because he knew very well that these Golden Flood Dragon Demon Clan members did not dare to do anything to him and Red Oriole. The only one who was in danger was Long Yu. However, with Red Oriole around, how could she allow Long Yu to be in danger? Very quickly, Red Monarch's guess was realized. When everyone rushed towards Long Yu and Red Oriole grabbed one of Long Yu's legs and directly threw him into a blood-red pendant on her chest. This blood-red pendant was the entrance to Red Oriole's small world. As a higher Sovereign Realm expert, Red Oriole naturally had her own small world. The medium she used to create her small world was the blood-red pendant on her chest. As Long Yu's leg was pulled by Red Oriole and thrown into the blood-red pendant, he felt his vision blur. A moment later, the power of spatial divine characters enveloped him. Immediately after, he appeared in a completely blood-red space. This is Red Oriole's small world. Long Yu's eyes lit up. He looked around him. This entire small world was filled with a blood-red void. There was a blood-red aura permeating the air. It was Red Oriole's intense killing intent. Although Red Oriole usually treated Long Yu very well, when she truly faced an enemy, the blood-red aura she exuded was enough to make people tremble in fear and flee at the sound of it. Right now, Long Yu did not know which corner of Red Oriole's small world he was in. In short, he did not see the existence of any other life forms. He could only sense the blood-red aura around him. It was Red Oriole's aura. In this blood-red void, Long Yu discovered that he was unable to move. It seemed that Red Oriole had restricted him to this place. However, it did not matter. In any case, Red Oriole had pulled Long Yu into this small world to protect him. His freedom was temporarily restricted, but it did not matter to Long Yu. Red Oriole has a good idea. As long as I'm hidden in this small world, it will be nearly impossible for those Golden Flood Dragon Beast Clan fellows to kill me. If they want to kill me, they must first kill Red Oriole, and the Golden Flood Dragon Beast Clan probably does not have the guts to do so. Long Yu thought about it, and could not help but praise Red Oriole's idea. This great beauty was not bad. In this way, he could be said to be in the safest place possible. It was not much different from having Master Bai Yun's protection. Bored to death, Long Yu could only cultivate by himself. Right now, there were not many things he could cultivate. Since he had made some progress in the Four Symbols killing prison, he might as well try to see if he could comprehend more things. Long Yu took out the ancient jade slip of the Four Symbols killing prison from his bosom and began to comprehend it. He did not care about the situation in the outside world, because he knew that it was useless even if he cared. His life was already in the hands of others. Fortunately, he believed in Red Oriole. She would definitely not let those people from the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan succeed. Even though Red Oriole was only a high-level ruler, she was able to sneak out from under the eyes of the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan's chief steward and stealthily arrive at Long Yu's side. It was clear that Red Oriole had some pretty good methods. Even if she could not win, she could at least escape. In the Heavenly Wolf battle arena, when Long Yu was directly thrown into the small world by Red Oriole, everyone was shocked. Shameless. Almost everyone immediately exclaimed. Red Oriole's actions could be said to have placed Long Yu in the safest place. Now that Long Yu was in Red Oriole's small world, who would dare to touch Long Yu? If they wanted to touch Long Yu, they would have to first kill Red Oriole or enter Red Oriole's small world. However, the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan would not dare to do the former. As for the latter, once they entered Red Oriole's small world, they would probably die without even knowing how they died. No one would be stupid enough to enter someone else's small world, not even a great ruler. However, this way, Princess Blood Demon has placed herself in a very dangerous situation. Many people in the battle arena had also noticed this point. What do you mean? Some people were puzzled. Who would dare to harm Princess Blood Demon? These Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan experts would definitely not dare to, right? This Princess Blood Demon is shielding the human mountain ghost, who killed the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan's third prince. One must know that the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan's third prince is known as the #1 expert of the Golden Flood Dragon Beast clan's younger generation. They probably have to kill that mountain ghost. Since it's impossible to enter Princess Blood Demon's small world, there's only one way for them to take revenge. You're saying that these Golden Flood Dragons might try to kill Princess Shui Yao. Many people understood this point and were immediately shocked. If the Golden Flood Dragon Demon race really wanted to kill Princess Shui Yao, then today's matter could be said to have spread throughout the entire demon race's territory. The influence of this matter was too great. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.